Hello, this is Charles Van Morgan. Welcome. Broadcasting live in the morning, but we may pop up anytime. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show. We have got a show for you today. We're going to talk about the prosecutors are used as a weapon. They're not used to lower crime. They're used to criminalize you and put you in jail. Prosecutors as a weapon. We're going to talk about some of my personal experiences with these dirtbags in the state of Tennessee. I'm not talking secondhand. I know because I've seen it with my own 4 eyes. So I love this flag. Soldiers fought and died for this flag so that we could have a free country. So that we could have a free country where prosecutors obey the Constitution. But they don't. They put you in jail. They're a weapon for the elite to punish you. And we're going to talk about that. I'm not talking about third, second-hand, rumor, innuendo. I'm going to tell you some cases where I know for certain, I've seen it with my own eyes, prosecutors in the state of Tennessee are dirty. And all across this country in public offices, we got the nastiest people that are running our government, running it for themselves. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Actually, a lot today. As long as you'll listen, we'll spit out the truth. We'll tell you the truth. It ain't pretty. A lot of people don't like it. They can't handle the truth. And it might cause you to throw up, and you should throw up and straighten stuff up. So we're going to talk about that today. The dirty Tennessee prosecutors. They're a weapon for the elite, run, owned by the elite to stay in power and to punish the poor or who's ever convenient that they might need to trump up charges against and falsely prosecute you for a crime you did not commit, a civil or criminal offense. That's what prosecutors do. People think, some people, hopefully my mass subscribers in the population will agree with me and go along with the program. If you don't, then you got to write your opinion. But we're going to tell you the truth, and it'll probably make you throw up. But you need to know so we can do something about it. So we're talking about dirty Tennessee prosecutors. So hello, Brack, and young man, thank you. So hello, Resonate from India. So yeah, we're talking about dirty prosecutors. They are an arm of the government designed to punish people that do nothing wrong, challenge the establishment, or they're just convenient and they need to stick somebody with a crime to make themselves look good. So let's turn around and get this show on the road. So we're going to talk about that. Some personal experiences I had with prosecutors. People don't have to tell me that they did something wrong because I've seen it with my own eyes. I used to be inside, but I did the right things while I'm on the outside. Now, we're going to talk about some Tennessee prosecutors. I'm going to call them by name. It's not defamation, it's true. Sharman Tissue Allen. Randy not good for a Nichols. Randy Nichols. And some of the Tennessee prosecutors that are dirty as hell. Jared Effler. He's a bum. And Cody Womp. Wow. Where's the video, Cody Womp? And a lot of Tennessee dirty prosecutors. So let's turn this around and get the show on the road. We're going to talk about it and present pure truth. Pure truth to power. They say that a defense attorney is society's last line of defense against tyranny. That's exactly right. And the defense attorney is a lot of time on their team. So we're talking about these dirty prosecutors that are supposed to prosecute crime. They don't prosecute crime for the most part. They do very little of that. They prosecute the public, the innocent public, to keep the elite in power. They're tools of Bill Has-Been. They're tools of Governor Bill Lee. You know, he prosecutes people for crimes under the Christian banner. It's not Christian to persecute people. Tennessee prosecutors are persecutors. They put innocent people in jail all the damn time. And they got their propaganda machines going full force. A propaganda machine is they're putting out information to the public That's a dirty lie, but they keep telling you those things. They keep telling you they're doing a good job. They keep telling you the very few things that they're doing right, and they leave out the part where they're messing over you and putting you in jail, or not prosecuting cases like they should. They prosecute the poor and leave the rich elite alone. And we're going to talk about these dirty prosecutors. I'm going to name them by name, call them out for what they are. They're crooked as hell. You know, they had a convention here in Knoxville, and I wish I'd known about it ahead of time. I would have went out front of the convention and held a sign up, "Dirty Tennessee Prosecutors," on a public sidewalk, and made a statement against those dirtbags. They got the courtroom, and they even got media outlets, and they even got podcasts where they're spinning a bunch of lies, and they get to control the narrative, and they're answering questions to the public, putting out their propaganda, which is an outlet to put their false side of things, and they won't even let me speak against them. And their little podcasts are answering questions, or questions that they ask. So they lead the narrative. They tell you what questions to ask. They're not out in public answering real questions from real journalists. How about that? A real question from a real journalist that puts them on the spot about the dirty that they done. Like the prosecutor here in Knox County, Sharman Tissue Allen, has got a podcast out. The dirty Sharman Tissue Allen. And I'll tell you about some personal experiences. I know her personally. She's a criminal. She violates the law. I've seen her do it. She lets her entourage and people in public power out of crimes. I've seen her do it. I'm going to tell you personal experiences that I had with her. It's not secondhand. It's not hearsay. I had the conversation. I know what I heard. It's not hearsay when you're reporting an incident that you saw and heard. So we're going to talk about Sharman Tissue Allen and how dangerous it is to you here in Knox County. We're going to talk about Bill Gibbons, the prosecutor in Shelby County. How every case these people are prosecuted need to be looked at, re-examined. There's a lot of innocent people in jail, I believe, personally, because of these dirty prosecutors. Prosecutors are a weapon against you, aimed at you, if you dare stand in the way, or for convenience. If you think, well, I'm not attacking them, I'll be just fine. What if they need a crime solved and you're in Tennessee, and they'll grab you and charge you falsely and hook you up for a crime you didn't commit? Say, well, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't attacking him. You don't have to. They need the crime solved to make themselves look good in public. And the more opposition they get from other people, the more likely you are to be attacked, because they got to make themselves look good to get elected, to get falsely elected. So we're talking about the dirty, crooked prosecutors that are a weapon for the elite. They're not a weapon against crime to make society safer. That's not what they're about. That's a facade. That's a lie. I'm telling you the truth. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. You'll hear some truth here. It might be truth you don't want to hear, but it's truth you got to hear, because if you keep letting it go the way it's going, you might end up in jail for a crime you didn't commit because a prosecutor wanted to hang you out. So we're gonna explain that today and talk about what we need to do about it. So if you see the screenshot of this video, you'll see, your cost of living is extremely high now. That's kind of a problem for you, isn't it? It's not a problem for them. It's not a problem for Sharman Tissue Allen. She lives just fine on her high salary. She's got people that protect her. She's not worried about crime. She's not worried about anything. She's doing real good. She's worried about getting a propaganda out there on a podcast telling you what a great job she's doing so she can get elected, keep getting more of your money, and keep attacking citizens for crimes they didn't commit. And every now and then they'll prosecute somebody for a real crime to make themselves look good or because of public pressure, like the Shannon and Newsom case, which they messed up that case. They had to retry it, cost taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. because they had a judge that ruled in their favor all the time, right under Sharman Tissue Allen's nose and Randy Nichols' nose. So if you see the screenshot, there, and that screenshot is a picture of me and the prosecutors, Sharman Tissue Allen and Not Worth the Plug Nickel. And we're going to talk about them. There's some information you need to know. She's got a podcast out. She puts out her lies. What a great job the prosecutor's office doing. And state, she's a prosecutor, got elected. Everybody listen to her. She's such a great person, keeps down crime. She causes crime. She keeps in office to protect the rich and persecutes the poor or people that are convenient that she wants to stick with a crime. And I could say that with knowledge. If you're in a highfalutin position in society, one of their appointed attorneys by their rigged system, then you get out of crimes. If you're a police officer and you try to do your job against the elite, you'll get fired. You'll get the door. You'll get defamed. And they'll lie and cheat, rob, and steal. They'll lie under oath and commit crimes to get you defamed. And I'm going to tell you about that. It's not defamation, it's the truth. If they want to sue me in court, I'll be glad to go to court and tell the jury. We'll talk for days. I'll present my case about how dirty the prosecutor's office is, how dirty Sharman Tissue Allen is. And I'll present my case to the jury. I don't think they'd find me guilty of defamation, because defamation is false communication. What I'm about to tell you today is truthful communication. And I'm pretty brave, ain't I? They call me a coward. I'm speaking against the Knox County prosecutor. Somebody text her this stuff. She's got a podcast out where she puts out her lies. I'm going to talk about her podcast. Somebody text her, Charles Van Morgan, that man you tried to destroy, he's got a podcast. He's got a YouTube channel. Tell her 1.3 million people. And I know they look at my Facebook page. I know they look at it. I got information, but and I know they look at this page. Call and tell her. He's talking about you. He called you Sharman Tissue Allen. Yeah. And she's got her podcast to put out her lies. They don't want me to have a YouTube channel to put out the truth. Now, they can lie about me where I can't get health insurance in a job, but they don't want me to rebut their lies. They won't let you do that. That's not allowed. We got the final say. We're the kings in power, and we're the weapon for the elite. Yeah, they don't tell you that. They put out their lies on the podcast, present the district attorney general's office in Knox County, and a lot of them do that all across the state, as honorable institutions that fight crime. Well, look at the screenshot. The screenshot shows you a picture of me standing beside a newspaper article dealing with one of the major problems that you have right now. That problem is affordability. Affordability. You see those two people standing beside me, Sharman Tissue Allen, Not Worth the Plug Nickel? They were doing stuff to increase your cost of living while I was doing stuff to lower it. At the time that they were prosecuting me, lying on me, trying to help me get prosecuted for something I didn't do. That's what Sharman Tissue Allen does. She don't care about the cost of living. It doesn't affect her. She's got your tax dollars. They have a little problem living. They just raise your bread money so they can get more bread. So her and Tammy Hicks, that little fat woman, can get more money off you and persecute innocent people and prosecute innocent people and lift the rich up. Lawyers, you ever seen many of them get convicted of DUI? Yeah, they won't convict him. They work it out in their back hallway and run down the police officer that tries to do his job. So we're going to talk about Sharman Tissue Allen. And if she tries to do anything to me, tries to charge me with a fake crime, I'm not committing a crime. I'm out here fighting for the public, doing the same thing I was doing then, trying to keep your affordability down. That picture is an example of what the prosecutor's office is all about. A weapon against people that are fighting for you. And they fight for the elite, and the elite doesn't care about the cost of living. They don't pay the cost of living. They got your tax money. But so many people got in here, and I'll talk about that picture with Sharman Tissue Allen and Randy Good for Nothing Nichols. I'll tell you how they're doing now. Well, they're raising your cost of living because they're fighting against people that literally lowered it. So let's see what we got in here. Yeah, we got just a few. Like, share, comment. So yeah, spread the message. We're talking about dirty prosecutors. They could use that weapon to come after me now. And hopefully we'll get enough public outcry to prevent their continued false assaults against me, because that's what they are. So let's get across this road here. So come on in, like, share, comment, and if you want the word to get out, subscribe to the channel. Let's get the message out against dirty Tennessee prosecutors. So that picture is a picture of me, and that newspaper article was put out in 2011, the end of the year, around the same time that they were trying to fire me and lying on me. Randy Nichols, that man in that picture, lied on me, lied under oath. The prosecutor lied under oath. Imagine that. If you lied under oath, what happened to you? Oh, you'd go to jail. If he lies under oath, what happens to them? The judge uses his lie as a fact and rules against you. And that's what the prosecutor's office does. So yeah, and if you got a defense attorney and he does anything about it, Your Honor, I object. The prosecutor's lying, bringing false evidence. They'll go out the back hallway, make a little deal. Hey, we got to get rid of that prosecutor, or we got to get rid of that defense attorney. The police officer tries to prosecute one of the big dogs, one of the elite in power. We got to get rid of that police officer. We can't allow him going around here arresting the elite power mongers. That's what this weapon's for in the prosecutor's office. People think it's to fight crime, maybe to fight financial crimes. It's not to fight financial crimes. It's to keep them in power. They're not worried about financial crimes because they don't have to deal with them. They get enough of your tax money. They don't care. They fight for the power elite. They're crooked Tennessee prosecutors. I'm calling them out by name. So in that picture, I'm standing in front of a newspaper where I was out fighting crime. I was trying to get people prosecuted to stop them from financially abusing you, from raising your cost of living. That's what I was doing, and I did that effectively. I stopped a car, and that picture, and it was even in the newspaper. And this is the same time they were trying to fire me. They were trying to stop me from lowering your cost of living. This is the truth. They were trying to stop me from lowering your cost of living, trying to take me off the job. I was trying to find people that were committing crimes that were endangering the public, both on the roads, deadly instances, and financial crimes in that instance. So I was literally lowering your cost of living. That's a fact. Those two prosecutors, Sharman Tissue Allen, who's lied enough to convince the public that she's fighting crime when she's not fighting crime. She's fighting for Governor Bill Lee. She's a pawn of Governor Bill Lee. She's letting him out of crimes while she's persecuting people that are fighting for you. So I was literally lowering the fatality rate, lowering your cost of living. So if your affordability problems now, look at that newspaper article. I was lowering your cost of living. The newspaper article was an incident. At the same time, they're trying to fire me. That made it a little harder, but they don't care. They can use their weapon against anybody doing good. It doesn't matter. You think they prosecute guilty people for crimes? No. They prosecute innocent people if you stand up against them for committing crimes. That's what they do. She committed crimes. I know, I've seen her multiple occasions. She's a criminal. She's a criminaloid. It's not defamation, it's true. I'm going to tell you some sick, disgusting things she said about me. So here's what that caption is. It tells the whole story pretty much. Prosecutors are not for prosecuting crimes to making society safer, making it more affordable to you. That's not what Tennessee prosecutors do. They protect the elite at your expense. So that picture is an example of that. Let's see what we got in here. Come on board. We need more people. You get the truth out. So that picture is a picture of me where I arrested somebody that was raising your cost of living. I uncovered a multi-state credit card theft ring. People were buying Walmart cards, and they had a computer machine, and they were working in restaurants in multiple states. There was somebody with a PhD that designed this scheme, and he should have, and I don't want to persecute him unfairly. He's probably out of jail now and did his time, but he was using his PhD instead of to benefit the public, like they use their criminal prosecutor's office instead of benefit the public to benefit themselves, so and commit crimes. So he was using his PhD to defraud the public. He had several people working in stores across several states, a multi-credit card theft ring that I uncovered. When you uncover a financial crime, it lowers your cost of living. It doesn't make you pay more for food because somebody's got to pay for their fraud. The district attorney's office standing right there beside me that's responsible to prosecute financial crimes was literally raising those crimes. That's a newspaper article before they started. Is that right at the same time they're trying to fire me? They're trying to lie on me because I stood up for the public. They don't want you to stand up for the public. They want you to stand up for their facade. So at that same time, that newspaper article, those prosecutors were trying to get rid of me, trying to dismiss a case where somebody was defrauding you. They literally told me that. They were trying to get rid of it. They weren't able to because I wouldn't let them. But this man had several people across multiple states. And we're talking about affordability and dirty prosecutors. They don't care about your affordability. They showed it right then because I was good for traffic fatalities. I was good for you as far as making it affordable, even when I was a trooper. A trooper can do things financially to help the public by uncovering where people are stealing your money. And people were stealing your money. And I stopped them from stealing it. That's what that newspaper was. Now, he had a credit card theft ring across multiple states where he was having waiters and waitresses employed at a lot of restaurants all across several states. And when you give them your credit card to pay for your food bill, they would download it in their computer and then download your information on a Walmart gift card. And then they go into Walmart and buy merchandise and then go sell the merchandise. So they were stealing your money, robbing your bank account across several different states, had several $100,000 in their bank account at the time. Who knows how much money they were able to defraud from the public in an ongoing criminal enterprise led by a PhD student in Georgia. And I'm not here to punish him. He apologized for it and recognized he made a mistake and got put in jail thanks to me. So inflation was not further raised because somebody was siphoning out all the profit and stealing people's money. So I was helping with affordability, exactly what I was doing. People think I just dealt with DUI. I dealt with crime to protect the public wherever it was. The prosecutor's office does not deal with crime wherever it is to protect the public. The prosecutor's office is a weapon for the elite, weaponized for the elite to punish people or prosecute people that stand against the elite. That's what prosecutor's office does. Now, it might make you puke, but you need to puke and then go vote. Now, they would like to hurt me. I guarantee you, I know Sharma Tissue Allen. She's a violent, dangerous snag. And so she got a podcast, how professional she is. Well, yeah, telling you, putting out a podcast and answering questions. And she asks the questions that she's answering. Isn't that convenient? I mean, that's not answering questions. That's telling the public. You ask yourself a question, what you want the public to know. And you answer a question, but that's not answering real hard questions like why did you lie under oath, Randy Nichols, to get Trooper Morgan fired when he was lowering our affordability? Do they ask that question to these dirty prosecutors on their rigged podcast? That's a false propaganda machine. I'm putting out propaganda. Propaganda be the truth. That's the truth in this podcast, reaching 1.3 million people. Once somebody tell Sharma Tissue Allen that man, Charles Van Morgan, he's still alive and kicking and fighting you on his little YouTube podcast, got 1.3 million people on it, that he's telling that he's calling you a criminal. What are you going to do about it? Well, I'm hoping that this podcast protects me. Remember, she prosecutes me for a crime. We'll fight her. I got a JD just like she is. I'm a little smarter and a little badder than she is. And I'm not afraid of her. She ought to be afraid of her dangerous self. the roads that she's created in Tennessee are so dangerous, she might get hit by a drunk driver. I was protecting her. But she's a weapon. She's elected because she's a weapon against you for Bill Has-Been. What a dirtbag that man is. So we're talking about prosecutors. But I stopped a car on Chapman Highway because it went over the double yellow line, and stopped it at one of Has-Been's convenience stores, pulled over at the Pilot. And look, the driver was drunk. I gave him a sobriety test. And he was legitimately drunk, not like these troopers are doing nowadays where they're arresting innocent people. And he refused to give a blood test, but I got him on the sobriety test, and he failed the sobriety test. Now I was an expert in DUI detection, and I'm not just saying, hey, you claim you're an expert. An expert is somebody that knows about something, that has a higher level of knowledge in it, that actually does it and reads science and other people's opinions and knows about it. There's a lot of people think they know a lot about a lot of stuff, and they're like 21 years old or maybe in their 20s like Charlie Kirk, and they think they know something about everything and they've read books on it. But let me tell you something, until you live a life, and now you might be an expert at a young age, it's very rare, until you live a life and experienced and seen some things and studied some things and read some science articles and have a godly perspective and believe in science from reality and not these hocus pocus science from a wrong perspective that think we came from monkeys, which they may have, some of them have, I believe, but I believe that we were created in God's image. So if you read some real science, study some real stuff, then you'll know. You can be an expert in something. So I was an expert in DUI detection, higher level of knowledge. I was a drug recognition expert. I went through a class for several months, and we actually did literal experiments on the ground where we tested people and then decided what specific drug they were on by checking their blood pressure and looking at their pupils and all kinds of stuff and doing interviews with them. And we could literally decide, and I was certified, qualified in that by test and field test. We could literally decide based on our interviews, and if we did the whole gamut of tests by talking to them and interviewing them and checking their vital signs, we could literally tell you what drug that they were on because there's certain different symptoms. So I didn't get it wrong because I had a higher level of knowledge. I wasn't like one of these people that was hired out of college because his daddy is a trooper, his daddy is a prosecutor somewhere, gets out on the road and they want you to arrest everybody and his brother for drunk driving, and a lot of them are sober, which is what they have now because they're arresting sober people. I knew what I was doing, and I had been out on the road for 18 years and giving people sobriety tests. I was an expert in sobriety testing. And I knew if somebody was drunk or if they didn't. No one's perfect, but I didn't have a problem arresting innocent people. You never read my name in the newspaper with innocent people, because the people that I arrested and charged with drunk driving were extremely drunk or under the influence of narcotics. So I had an advanced knowledge of DUI enforcement. I had an advanced knowledge of financial crimes. I had a Master of Arts degree in criminology. It took years to get that kind of experience. You don't pop up on the football field and score touchdowns as a rookie. You have to work up to that. And these people are getting rid of all their experience, and then they're having mass wrecks all over the place by troopers running into each other. It's because they're getting rid of all their experience. And I'm not speaking against younger people. I'm just saying younger people haven't got life experience and haven't lived. A lot of times they talk a lot and don't know what they're talking about. And I'm not trying to run off younger people. I'm saying listen to older people's advice about stuff. They may know what the hell they're talking about, and that will help you. So I was an expert in DUI enforcement. So I gave him a sobriety test, and he was intoxicated. I documented the sobriety test. If I said something on the police report that somebody did, then you could look at the video and they did. That's what they did. And those sobriety tests, and we're going to get to the financial crime, that I lowered your cost of living. I lowered affordability when I was a trooper. The people standing beside me raised it. That's what they did. The prosecutors raised your cost of living. That's what they'll do. So I was literally, there's a fan. I was literally an expert. So many people got on here. Yeah, quite a few. Like, share, comment. I was literally an expert. He is one of those guys who has a defective feedback that doesn't want him to know when to shut up. Yeah. And you're one of those idiots that's listening to somebody that has a defective feedback. They don't know when to stop listening, evidently. I mean, if you listen to your own logic. So, I mean, some of these comments are so stupid. Which, thank you for your comment. I mean, makes no sense, but I appreciate it. Helps the algorithm. But don't tell them that. They think they're hurting me. So I was a expert in DUI texting. I pulled this car over here, and it's right down here on Chapman Highway where I'm going to. He went over the double yellow line. And I was also in law school at the time that they were firing me. So in my first year, I didn't know all the law, but I knew a few things about, I was in my first civil cases, my first torts class, which is civil violations, the first year. And I'd been in law enforcement for 18 years, and I was trying to get the hell out of the highway patrol because I didn't like the way they dealt with stuff. I didn't want to risk my life when they were endangering it. I felt like I was going to get killed because of Lion Lowell Russell, the situations that he was putting me in. And then he was complaining on me about stuff that he did, and I was trying to get out of the highway patrol. I wasn't trying to start a fight with him. I was trying to get out of the highway patrol. They started a fight with me. They drew first blood. But they don't understand a fighter is someone that don't just go out and pick a fight with somebody. A fighter is somebody that plans 4 years, practices, and fights. Like Herschel Walker when he ran over Bill Bates. That wasn't a fluke. Herschel Walker practiced for years before and worked out. Did so many thousand push-ups, so many thousand sit-ups, and so many thousand squats working out. So when he got on the field and they handed him a football, it wasn't a fluke. He ran over people. I had 18 years of law enforcement experience. I had years and years back to the 90s. You can go to the 90s and look at a historic photograph where I worked at University of Tennessee. I was a commissioned police officer. So I knew exactly what I was doing and was experienced and well-trained. Advanced level experience and training. It costs a lot of money that they got rid of. They don't care. I had a advanced level of knowledge in DUI detection. Didn't arrest innocent people because I knew exactly what I was doing. And it cost the state, cost citizens, cost you a lot of money for me to get that training. I went to the specialized school. We flew all the way to, the state flew me all the way to Arizona to do field testing in a jail so we could determine what drugs people. It cost you a lot of money, and I was out not just wasting your money, I was out arresting people for drunk driving. So I was right here on Chapman Highway, and I'll show you exactly where the guy went over the yellow line. It's exactly in this area. And I stopped him at Pilot gas station. Then he sold out to Casey's now. I think it's due to me publicizing that he's getting rich off poor convenience store clerks, and he don't want to protect them. Bill Haslam. So I was right up here. He crossed the double yellow line, and I pulled him over at Pilot, and I looked in his back seat, and he had a bunch of credit cards, stacked up stacks of them, and he had computer equipment and scanners. And that's not normal for people to have that. But initially, so that caught my attention. And he also went over the double yellow line. So initially I was concerned with the most significant issue. And we're explaining how the prosecutor's office increases your affordability while I lowered it. because they persecute innocent people and actually harm you, do more harm by their criminal actions than they help. The prosecutor's office are a weapon for the rich against you, specifically Sharman Tissue Allen here in Knox County. Now, she tries to hurt me or arrest me wrongfully. Hopefully there's enough public attention to y'all see what she's doing, and maybe enough help to help me get out of it. I've been prosecuted before and got out of it because they lie, and they can't beat me talking in front of a jury, although they're skilled. A prosecutor, they think that, and I'm getting to the point, we'll keep you on the hook, keep people listening. But because you need to hear this, people think prosecutors, and they're crooked as hell across Tennessee. In your state, you tell me, how crooked are they? I can tell you, I know they're crooked. I've seen it. It's not hearsay. I've seen it firsthand. But a prosecutor, it's easy for them to prosecute a guilty person. They have no trouble. They do that all the time. They get tired of it. They get tired of prosecuting guilty people. It means nothing to them. They're not committing crimes against them. Their conscience seared. They don't care. They could care less if you get beat up in your house prosecuting a felon for domestic violence. They could care less if you get robbed at a convenience store. They don't care. They'll prosecute a guilty person. It's easy for them to do. They do it all the time. They get tired of it. It's a feather in their cap. It is a delight to them, what they like to do, what they enjoy doing the most. And listen, you need to hear it. You need to hear it. There you go. You need to hear it. What they like to do, what they enjoy the most. And get this right here, if you don't get anything, is prosecuting innocent people. That's a feather in their cap. They got them. They didn't even do it. They're proud of that. Yeah, people don't like to hear that. Sharman Tissue don't want to hear that. Tell her I said that. It's a feather in that. We got an innocent person. Boy, we're damn good. We can put anybody in jail. Yeah, they can. They sure as hell can. They do all the damn time. And then they get on the podcast and talk about how they're prosecuting people for elderly crimes, how they're dealing with domestic violence, how they're dealing with, and they talk on their podcast of all the beautiful, wonderful things they're doing, and they answer questions that they've asked themselves. Tell her to listen to my podcast. I got a question to ask for her. Why were you trying to prosecute somebody that was keeping people's affordability down? That's a problem in 2025. You dirtbag Sharman Tissue Allen, good for nothing, representative of the rich that persecutes the poor. Wow, yeah, I said it. So I've got news for you. The truth has value. Somebody ought to prosecute your ass. And if you think I'm talking to her in a foul manner, I give them back what they gave me. You wouldn't believe what she said to me when I was trying to persecute crimes. And it ain't secondhand, I'll tell you what she said to me. So yeah, we got 89 people on here. God bless America. Somebody text her, tell her to listen to this podcast. Sharman Tissue Allen. Yeah, and that ain't tissue to get you from crying. Maybe she needs to cry. All the adverse stuff she's done in society, the people that their family member hasn't come home alive because she doesn't protect the roads in Knox County. She protects the elite. So yeah, that's a feather in their cap to prosecute an innocent person. They love that. That's hard to do. They get that by, and they're a big dog in the Attorney General's office, and they commit crimes to do that. There's a prosecutor in the Attorney General's office that was lying under oath, and he was listening to privileged communication from attorneys and their clients. You're supposed to be able to talk to your client freely, and anything you and your attorney talk to confidentially between you and them, a phone call or whatever, email between you and them, is confidential communication. It's designed so that you can talk freely with your defense attorney, to where things you might say that can be taken out of context that might make it look like you're guilty, but doesn't. The prosecution can take out of offense out of context. That any communication between you and this privilege, privilege means that the prosecution, it's illegal, a violation of the rules of professional conduct, a violation of the Constitution for fair trial for them to be able to get that information. They can't get it. They're not supposed to, do they? Hell yeah, they do. Hell yeah, they do. They get information. You talk to your attorney, you got the ear, Sharman Tissue Allen. We know what they said, where they're going with their defense. Just listen right to it. That's a fact. So, I mean, happened right here in Knox County. They got caught one time. How many other times have they done it? How long have they been doing it across the years? How long did Randy Nichols do it? So we need to check into all the people in jail in Knox County. Did they do it? I know she's a criminaloid. I can tell you for a fact. So they had a prosecutor at DeBusk. He got prosecuted because he related to somebody that's important. That's how you get prosecuted here. You can't come from nowhere and be a prosecutor here. You got to be related to somebody to get that big tax, high-paying tax job that'll put you set up for the rest of your life. You got to be related to somebody. You can't build your way up. You know, America, you can build your way up from nowhere. No, you can't. You got to be part of the elite group, protects the elite group, and then you can be part of the elite group if you protect the elite group, and if you violate the law and listen to attorney-client privilege information. So they had an attorney, DeBusk, that was listening in on attorneys and clients' phone calls. So yeah, I mean, and reading their emails. He wasn't supposed to do that. So anything you said to your attorney that you thought was confidential, he was listening to. And then he lied under oath about it. And he got caught. So Sharman Tissue Allen, of course, public information got out where she had to fire him. And now I think he's already got a job somewhere else. They don't go down for their crimes. They get, you know, it's a little smack on the head. Shouldn't have done it. You're going to have to go on to another job. You can't work here because, you know, it doesn't make us look good because it's all about a dog and pony show. It has nothing to do, little to nothing to do with fighting crime. They have to fight a little crime to make themselves look good, to make the pony look good. But what they're fighting, what the prosecutor's office is fighting for people in power, for them to maintain their power, illegitimately, I might add. They shouldn't be in power. Half of them ought to be in jail. They do stuff that hurts society. So let's talk about affordability and what she did and they did to increase affordability. So what they did was, now I stopped that guy, and they're standing right beside me there. They ought to prosecute financial crimes, right? Well, what they did, at the same time they were lying on me, Randy Nichols was lying on me, under oath lying on me. He committed ethical violations, criminal violations. Randy Nichols, I'm accusing him of crime. Yeah, he did. He's a dirty criminal. We'll talk about his life. If you lie for people in power, you think, well, you go to jail if you commit a crime. No, you don't. Depends on who you are. If you're down here on the real level with the mass populations all across the United States of America, I'm speaking to you. You're the ones in power. If you lie, if we lie, we go to jail. We don't collect pass go. We don't collect $200. We go directly to jail. Sometimes you don't even get a fair trial. Sometimes you go to jail for perjury and you didn't even do, because it's a feather in their cap. I got him. He didn't do nothing wrong. How proud I am. I can do anything I want to. I'm God. I'm a prosecutor here. Yeah, and I'm Charles Van Morgan, and I'm fighting you because you overlooked one thing, the soul and spirit of human beings. We ain't going to put up with your criminal, you criminaloids. We're not putting up with it. Join the movement. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. And this is news. We're telling you about, we're broadcasting a news channel live about Sharman Tissue Allen and Randy, not good, not worth a nickel. They're prosecutors, powerful people. I'm fighting some power, ain't I? Yeah, do you see me? Do you see me flinching? Do you see me being a coward? No, I'm fighting them for you just like I was when I was out on the road. I believe truth wins and God protects people that fight for the public, that fight for the little children, that fight for people. They don't fight for people. They fight for Bill Haslam. I want to make sure he's good and comfy with his millions, that his millions is protected while he's endangering lives. So I stopped that car and seen all those sketchy equipment in his back seat. Plain view. He had a bunch of cards, credit cards, a bunch of scanning equipment, computer equipment, laying right in his back seat. So I tested him for DUI, and he failed the test. I stopped him because he crossed the double yellow line. Now, any DUI stop, you can't just go down the road and stop people. You have to have a legal, legitimate reason for the stop. And like I said, I was in law school first year, 18 years of experience. I never violated people's rights. And some of these cops violate people's rights. And we'll get to that story. You need to hang on, I'll finish it. Get your dollar's worth, some real truth. I'll keep you on the phone, on the line, whether you want to or not, tell you some truth so you can act on it, protect yourselves. So in order for a law enforcement officer to make a stop on somebody, and I know it from being a police officer, and I know a little more than being a police officer because I have a JD, a doctor of jurisprudence. You know, you have a medical doctor that you go to when you don't know what's wrong with you and you're hurting so bad because they have advanced knowledge, and they can't be a doctor without studying the law and passing tests. So they have advanced knowledge in it. We'll see. They won't let me practice law because they say I'm not honest. Because they're not honest. I'm honest. They don't want me in the legal field because I'll protect your legal rights. I'll protect the Constitution. So I got freedom of speech. I'll stay out of their courtroom out here in the cold and talk to the public and protect your rights against them. Call them, tell them I'm on here. I got a phone. I don't give up. They mess with the wrong people. All of us. So welcome. Come on in. Charles Van Morgan live in the morning. Like, share, comment. So we're talking about Sharman Tissue Allen. And Sharman Tissue Allen. Welcome. So I stopped the car for crossing double yellow line. And it was right in here. Right up there where the guy crossed the double yellow line. Right up there on Chapman Highway. Coming down the hill on Chapman Highway, and this is back in about 2010. And so you got to have a legal reason for the stop, or the stop's illegal. Now I had people that, and the reason why I made more drunk driving arrests than anybody in the state was because I worked at it and I've seen people dead, and I want to prevent that. And they don't care about people getting dead. They care about themselves. Their conscience is seared. They don't have a conscience. They care about keeping people in power, which is the reason why they got a job that fund their campaigns. They're illegitimate campaigns that falsely put them in office. They shouldn't be in office. So you got to have a legal reason to stop somebody. Now I had a lot of people, and I used to monitor the radio. I did my job. When I said 10-8 on the radio, which means in service, I was in service. A lot of troopers went fishing. One of them was fired for supposed to be on the job, and he was building houses, making money, while he was supposed to be out protecting the roads. When I said 10-8, I went out and protect the public. Both serious injuries, getting killed, and also if I uncovered financial crimes, which is what happened in that case, just right up there on Chapman Highway. So let's make sure. A lot of times we got calls on the radio, and they'd say, car going down the interstate. And listen, officers, I'm going to educate you a little bit. Some of them think they know more than somebody with a doctorate of jurisprudence. That's like your great aunt's nephew telling you, diagnosing your medical issue because of what happened to him one time, or because of what he thinks or how he feels about your tumor that he thinks just a little knot that's going to kill you unless you go to a real doctor. So you might want to listen to somebody that knows what they're talking about. Read their credentials. See who they are. I got a doctor of jurisprudence officers. I know what I'm talking about. So let me give you a little education, Knoxville officers. And that's not an insult. It's a little truth. A lot of troopers, a lot of officers, they get calls all the time. Such going down the road, going down Chapman Highway. high rate of speed, passing cars, going over double yellow lines. So I was 10-8. I went and looked for that car. I'd go down the road a little ways and wait for that car to pass, you know, red Corvette. And I'd get behind the red Corvette, and a lot of times it'd be staying in the lane, going the speed limit. And so we got a third-party call. Somebody else called in on them. I didn't see them, and I haven't seen them do anything wrong. So can I stop them? No, you can't. I didn't see it. You can't stop them. It's a free country. So they might have been doing that earlier. Well, they might have been, might not have been. I can't stop them based on a whim. So I wouldn't stop them based on a third-party complaint. Unless they wanted to go down and sign a warrant for somebody they didn't even know, I wouldn't stop them. So, because it's a third-party complaint. What happens, you end up stopping them, they're stone cold sober, and it's their ex-wife that's trying to get them arrested. And they're not doing a damn thing wrong. So you gotta have a legitimate reason for stopping them. So officers, stop this damn bullshit. Somebody, third party, makes a complaint on somebody and they sick you on somebody, and you go run, tackle them, knock the hell out of them, and you get sued over that. You cannot arrest for misdemeanor unless it's committed in your presence, so you better see the crime. A misdemeanor crime. Now, if it's a felony or something, that's another thing. But I'm not telling you not to do your job, but it's a free country. Freedom is scary. Deal with it. That's what the civil rights attorney said. I'll steal his line. So I wouldn't stop people unless I had a legitimate reason. The reason I bring that up is the prosecutor's office, and I uncovered a multi-state crime ring because the prosecutor's office was trying to dismiss that case with somebody that was stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars that we know of, maybe more, and let him go free and continue his criminal operation. A prosecutor's office that's supposed to try to keep things affordable by prosecuting financial crimes is trying to dismiss it and trying to fire me, trying to release a criminal and trying to fire me that was trying to convict somebody, get them convicted and get their crime exposed so they couldn't continue to defraud you and keep the cost of living high, and trying to let him go. That's what Sharman Tissue Allen, Attorney General not worth the plug nickel, was trying to do. Now, that's what the prosecutors do. It ain't about fighting crime, making society better. It's about keeping them in power. So now I stopped him because he went over the double yellow lines. I told you where it was at. Now the prosecutor got me in her office and told me that I had made an illegal stop because he didn't go over the double yellow lines 3 times. Arguing that they have to go over the double yellow lines 3 times, messing up the fact that you have to go over the white line on the emergency lane 3 times in order for a police officer to stop you. There's specific rules about when you can stop somebody and when you can't. The white line, if you go over it 3 times, then you're considered weaving and subject to a stop. The double yellow line, which you're going head on into other people, one time they do that, you can stop them. Sometimes they're just messed up a little bit and you let them go. Sometimes, like in this case, with this guy drunk committing a multi-state thousands and thousands of dollar crime ring, financial crime ring that's causing your affordability rate to go up, that I uncovered because I legitimately stopped it. They're trying to release it. Literally called me up in their office to complain about that. And I told him, no, you got it wrong. Double yellow line's 1 time. That's what he did. That's why I stopped him. But he failed the sobriety test. I arrested him for drunk driving. He refused to take a blood test. So I don't know what his blood alcohol level was. And then when I originally went up, I noticed all that stuff in his car that didn't look right. People don't usually have hundreds of credit cards bound up in rubber bands, different ones, and they don't have scanner equipment and computers laying in the back seat. So I thought, what the hell's going on here? So legally, I could tow his car and do an inventory based on him not legally parked, and pilot asked me to tow the car, and 2 Knoxville City officers helped me with the incident. Thank you all. You know who I'm talking about. So I called in, did an inventory on the car, wrote down on the inventory, and I didn't know what he was doing, but I suspected that he was committing that he was committing some type of crime using those credit cards. I didn't know if they were stolen. He had other people's credit cards. He had all those hundreds of bank cards. And we're talking about affordability and prosecutors. They don't care about your affordability. And that newspaper article was a representation of me standing up for your rights and keeping affordability down. And we're going to talk about that. So I did an inventory on his car. I called my supervisor and told him what I had, who called the criminal investigation unit of the highway patrol, and we started looking into it, and we knew it was a financial crime. We just didn't know exactly what he was doing. And we called the Secret Service. And a lot of people don't know this, but the Secret Service is who investigates financial crimes. People think of them as protecting the dignitaries, protecting the president, and that's true. But they also investigate financial crimes. So we called the Secret Service, told him what we had, while he was in jail for the DUI charge, getting ready to bond out. His car was towed right down here to Floyd's, and we began investigating a financial crime. Why do you have all those scanners? Why do you have other people's credit cards? Why did he have all those Walmart gift cards? So contact the Secret Service, who checked his bank records. Bank records are not, you don't need a warrant to check bank records. And people ought to know that your bank records are open to the government. They can look at them. So I'm talking about affordability. I was stopping a multi-state credit card theft ring. We'll tell you what he's doing. Let's look at the beautiful view. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's get this message out, talking about how prosecutors are raising your cost of living. I was lowered it, but I can't do that anymore. They got rid of your help, but I'm still helping you now out on the street. So here we go. Here's a beautiful Tennessee River, and there's Sharman Tissue's office. So I stopped the car for legal reasons. The Sharman Tissue's office was under Randy Good for Nothing Nichols, not worth the plug nickel, that his prosecutors are trying to dismiss it, saying I hadn't had a legal legitimate stop. And I did. I crossed the double yellow line on the oncoming traffic. It was on video. So I explained that to them. They were chewing me out, fussing for arresting somebody for stealing money. So we called the Secret Service. They checked his bank account. His bank account had hundreds of thousands of dollars in it, which somebody can have hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it had deposits from stuff, and we got a warrant to search his car again. I already did an inventory, and we got all the credit cards and stuff, and what was happening, and the Secret Service had a federal prosecutor take over the case, and I was just a witness, and they took it out of the Knox County prosecutor's hands, the state prosecutor, and the federal prosecutor determined what his crime was, and I'd stopped him and put him in jail, and they charged him with fraud and theft. What he was doing that I uncovered and stopped, but this prosecutor's office is trying to let it go on, it's an affordability issue. They don't care about affordability. He had waitresses that got hired all across several states, and they were going in stores, and they were working at restaurants, and when you gave them your credit card, they were scanning your credit card information, And then they would download that information, steal your money, and put it back on a Walmart gift card. So that Walmart gift card's not money, but they'd be able to take your money and go in Walmart using that gift card and buy merchandise. And then they would buy like real expensive shoes, Nike shoes, most expensive stuff. And then they were selling that, buying the stuff with people's money all across several different states by using waitresses at several restaurants to download your card information. Surreptitiously, they'd scan it, steal your information, scan it back on a Walmart credit card, and steal your money. And I shut that down. The federal prosecutor took over it. Sharma Tissue Allen's office now was trying to dismiss that, saying the stop wasn't legal. Yes, it was. The federal prosecutor didn't have a problem with it, and the Secret Service investigated it. So he pled guilty, and I think he got about 10 years. He's probably out of jail now, and I'm not trying to persecute him. Hopefully he learned his lesson. But that's just one incident of Sharma Tissue Allen's office trying to not prosecute a criminal, and at the very same time, now that newspaper article was in December of 2011. At the same time that came out, and it made him hesitate a little bit because it's hard to hang a trooper out saying he's good for nothing when he's saving people across multiple states money. You know, your affordability is an issue now. I kept that down when I was out on the road. That means nothing to them. Affordability don't matter to Sharma Tissue Allen. It's about persecuting people that stand up against them. So he got 10 years, and it shut down his credit card theft operation. He admitted to it, pled guilty to it. She, in that office, was trying to dismiss those charges. Now, I had a case, that's just one incident. At the same time, they were trying to fire me. I was keeping down your costs. They were doing stuff to raise it. Persecuting, trying to prosecute, lying on an innocent person in a civil case. And they also made the roads more dangerous because they released hundreds of drunk drivers blaming it on me, gaslighting. Gaslighting is somebody blaming you for the crimes that they're committing. They blame me for releasing hundreds of drunk drivers. Sharma Tissue Allen's office did that. Randy Nichols did that. In order to do that, he lied under oath. Imagine that. If you lie under oath, what happens to you? That's Randy Nichols. And I'll show you the deposition. A deposition is taken under oath. You say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And then Randy Nichols went on to lie about stuff. Committing criminal violations, committing ethical attorney violations where he shouldn't even have a law license. And now if you lie to protect the people in power, then what they know is that's what the prosecutor's office is for. It's about protecting people in power. It's not about the truth. It's not about keeping affordability down. It's not about prosecuting criminals that steal your money and raise debt, make it hard for you to live. It's not about that. It has little to nothing to do with that. No, they got to prosecute a few crimes to make themselves look good, and they'll tell you about it on their Line podcast, where they answer public questions that they tell what the question is, and they answer their own questions. And that's being open and honest to the public. Wow. Hey, if they want to ask me questions, they can come out here and interview me. I'll ask me any question that they have. I'll answer their questions. I will. I'll answer. They won't answer my questions. They answer questions, but it's the questions that they ask themselves. So isn't that controlling the narrative? That's what the prosecutor's office does. She's got a podcast. Had one out since 2020, a Line podcast, that tells you about all the wonderful things that the prosecutor's office does. They are prosecuting people for crimes against the elderly. They are prosecuting people for domestic violence. They don't talk about in their podcast, and I would ask some questions about this, how many false convictions have they uncovered at the prosecutor's office? In order to be fair, they're not talking about that. No, they won't talk about how many, and I know one case where they didn't uncover it, somebody else uncovered it. How many false convictions have they uncovered that the prosecutor's office wrongly convicted somebody? They don't have a segment on that. How many prosecutions of people wealthy, people in high places, have they prosecuted? for crimes against the public. They don't talk about that. How many prosecutors have they fired that they knowingly let commit crimes? How many prosecutors have lied under oath? Where's Randy Nichols working right now after he committed a crime? Is he working in a place where he can commit more crimes to protect the public? Because that's what the prosecutor's office does. The prosecutor's office protects all across the state. And we're going to talk about other prosecutors too, not just Sharma Tissue Allen. It's rampant criminal syndicate by public prosecutors, elected by fraud and deceit. They lie to you, use the media to tell you there's something they're not. And I'm telling you the truth. They're criminaloids. They're the ones that are dangerous to you. You know, a street criminal out here ain't nowhere near as dangerous to you as Sharma Tissue Allen. So we're at the bridge here. We're going to present the case to you, argue to the public about the prosecutor. We want to prosecute the prosecutor. Imagine that. What a flip on the truth. The real truth, not the prosecutor's lies. This is a real podcast, not their lies, unadulterated, unedited, live on the street. My pulpit's the Henley Street Bridge, and her pulpit is a lined courtroom under lined dirty, appointed judge by the elites. So like, share, comment. Let's get this show moving. So Randy Nichols lied under oath. Now, because lied under oath protecting the elites. And if you lie under oath protecting the elites, you don't go directly to jail, not collect $200. If you lie for the elites, that's your job in the prosecutor's office. You say, well, his job is to lower the crime rate. No, it's not. It's to protect the elite. It's to punish people that don't go along with the program, that mistreat people, that are trying to fight the government corruption. And if you do that, then you'll get promoted to a higher office or keep a lifetime job just in another department. So, I mean, you think about in other states too, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, the prosecution of political opponents. Prosecutors are a weapon. They're not fighting crime. They're a weapon against you, a weapon against the public, a weapon against political candidates. And let's talk about lying Randy Nichols. He lied under oath. Here's his deposition right here. Here's his deposition. Randy Nichols. Deposition of Randy Nichols taken, responded April 4th, 2013. Can you ever answer our questions? Do you ignore the Republicans? No, I don't ignore anybody. So here's his deposition, 2013, about the same time that I was lowering the fatality rate. So what question do you have, Clam Sam? What question do you have? I'll answer it. So thank y'all. Like, share, comment, and spread this message. Send a link to Sharma Tissue Allen, maybe Randall Nichols. He works at the sheriff's department. Now, he's a sheriff deputy because he'll tell the truth, right? No, he's a sheriff deputy because he'll protect the sheriff. He'll protect the sheriff's crimes. He'll protect the Christian sheriff's crimes. Yeah, they're Christians, so they do right. Living in the past. No, I'm talking about the present. That's not the past. They turned me down for my law license this year. That's the present. So you can hobnob, jump around, change the narrative, whatever you want to do. I'm telling you the real narrative. So you're probably a prosecutor, ain't you? I'm living in the present right now. They lie to you. Sharma Tissue Allen's in the prosecutor's office right now, committing heinous acts of atrocities, lying to you on a podcast. That's a fact right now. So here's Randy Nichols' deposition. Now right now, this is the deposition 2013. He lied in 2013. Right now, he's working for the Knox County Sheriff's Office. So that's not the past. Today, he's a Knox County Sheriff's deputy. He's an attorney that represents the Sheriff's Department. While he was attorney, a prosecutor, he lied and made the public more dangerous. That's his picture. He lied. I'll show you his lie. Now, his lie didn't go away. His lie shows you his character. His lie shows you who he is. Because right now, he lied for the prosecutor's office to help increase to raise affordability, make things more costly. Today, he works for the sheriff's department under the Christian sheriff and lies for the sheriff. So they just marched in somebody's house a few days ago in the present and killed somebody. And they got a liar attorney that will explain their way out of it. So You know, that's not the past, that's the present. So if he lied in the past, he's not going to lie anymore. He done got that out of his system, right? I mean, come on now. I mean, have a little not just common sense, have a little sense. You know, 1 + 1 is 2. You lie in the past, you might do it in the future. It's not a whopping leap. So if you lie, then in the past, that's not the past. As far as it doesn't matter, that means you're a liar. So I'm branding him as a liar. I'm presenting my case. If you don't want to hear my case, go get a kite and go out and fly it until the sheriff's department shoots you dead, and use Randy Nichols in the present as an attorney for the sheriff's department to say you were doing something wrong while you were flying a kite in a free society. So if that's the world you want to live in, then you go right ahead. I'm presenting my case, and I'll keep presenting it. So 2013, he lied under oath. His deposition where he raised his hand, I'll show you where he lied. He's a liar. Randy Nichols, a former prosecutor, now deputy sheriff, attorney for the sheriff's department, so he can lie for them, to keep them in power. That's what prosecutors do. They lie for the elite to keep the elite in power. He lied for the Christian governor. Now he's lying for the Christian sheriff, so they can kill you, do whatever you want to do, raise your cost of living. It ain't about crime. It's about fighting and keeping in power. That's what they do. So I got a right to say this. They got a podcast. He put out lies in the depositions. Let me show you his lie. Well, this is just the fact. Jury, 1.3 million. Listen to the facts here. He lied under oath. This is what Randy Nichols did. Now as a sheriff's deputy, do you trust the sheriff's department to get a valid warrant, come into your house and shoot and kill you? You don't think they'll do that? So deposition of Randy Nichols. He swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. Okay, here's what it says. I'm just reading you the facts. The deposition of Randy Nichols was taken by counsel respondent by agreement. Knoxville, Tennessee. And on April 4, 2013, for all purposes, under the Tennessee Rules of Civil Procedure, all formalities as captioned, notice, statement appearances, sinners waived. All objections except to the form of the questions are received to the hereby, and that said deposition may be read, used into evidence in said cause of action in any trial therein or any proceeding. It is agreed that Mr. Emily Coral, Notary Public Court Reporter of the State of Tennessee, may swear the witness, so he swore in, may swear the witness, and that reading and signing of the completed deposition by the witness are waived. So he swore in, he swore under oath to tell the truth. And then he lied. And I'll show you his lie. Randy Nichols, now he works for the sheriff's department. They'd march in your house and kill you. He's going to go to court and I think lie for them and say it was justified. He's lied in the past. He ain't going to do it no more. Randy Nichols, big old prosecutor, makes millions of dollars off you all. Yeah. Let's talk about him. And Mr. Bartlett here, what a real winner he is. Mr. Bartlett. Now, he stole somebody's money. So we're talking about Randy Nichols. Call Randy Nichols. Call that old criminal and tell him, hey, somebody's on a YouTube channel with 1.3 million people calling your name out saying you lied under oath. Hey, Randy, you lied under oath about me. Put it out to the public with dirty lying judges stamping the weight of law on your lies. I got a right to speak out against you, you dirtbag. You think I'm afraid of you, boy? You was raised in the wrong situation, because I was raised without a daddy, and I know how to fight people that are crooked. You fight a bully. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So let's see here. For the public. Let's see here what he did. Here's a lie he told. Here's a lie he told. Now he said, and you not find any violations of statutes that would warrant a criminal prosecution. Correct. That's correct. We determined that there was not any application of criminal statutes that we thought were appropriate. So he's agreeing that I didn't commit any criminal violations. but they still want to take my job from me. They still need to get rid of me because you know why he knows? You know why he's not charging me with a crime? I'll tell you why he's not charging me with a crime. Not because he don't want to. It's because if you charge, they charge me with civil violations where I don't get a jury. In a civil violation, you get one of their dirty judges. We talked about their dirty judges yesterday. In a criminal trial, and he knows I won't give up my rights. I didn't give up my rights then. I'm not giving up now. He needs to write out his warrant and turn himself into the jail. And so the public can be safe. He can live out the rest of his miserable life behind bars to protect the public where he ought to be. That's Randy Nichols, former prosecutor. So you hear all these attorneys getting up and having their podcasts. I'm a former prosecutor. I'd be ashamed of that. I'd be ashamed. I'm not a former prosecutor. I'm prosecuting the prosecutors. Imagine that. Who does that? Nobody does. Does it need to be done? What do you think? You think the prosecutors need to be prosecuted if they commit crimes? Yeah, I believe that they do, to protect you, to protect affordability. So he said, agrees to that. He's not charging me with a criminal offense. He admits that because he knows if he charges me a criminal offense, have at it. I'll go talk to a jury and I'll say, this is what happened, and expose his lies. So if he charges me a criminal, he'll be able to talk to the public, because you got a right to a public trial with a jury of your peers, not their rigged little judicial corruption system that lies for them, keeps them in power, keeps Bill Lee in office, keeps his predecessor, Sharman Tissue, up there, keeps them lying, keeps them in power, keeps them getting your tax money while you have a hard time living. And they don't prosecute crimes that would lower your cost of living. They overlook them and get rid of people that are lowering your cost of living. Look at that picture. I was lowering your cost of living, and they were raising it, getting me fired. So yeah, so he admits I don't have any criminal violations. He would like to, but if it charged me criminally, I go talk to a juror and I tell them the same thing I'm telling you now. He lied under oath. Let's charge him. Why does he get to lie under oath? What would happen if you lied under oath? You'd go directly to jail. So here's what he lied about. He was asked under oath, and he's trying to throw everything in kitchen sink because I know they don't have anything. If they've got a real case against me civilly that I did something wrong, state exactly what they got, and then under rules of the law, testifying under oath, under rules of civil procedure, under rules of ethical responsibility. He's a lawyer. He's got a higher standard. You say what you got, and then you shut up. You don't add stuff on there to try to bring false evidence to falsely incriminate somebody. Did he do that? Surely not. He's under the high ethical standards of the bar. The bar won't give you a law license unless you're ethical. I mean, that's what they told me, right? But a prosecutor can lie. But they overlook that lie because they overlook the lies of the people in power, and they'll lie on you. That's why you better listen. I'm giving you this for free. You better listen. This ain't for me. This is for you. This is talking about people in power. Who does that? You better listen while I'm still out here. How long they'll let me without trying to kill me or do something bad to me where I can, I don't know. I'm just telling you the facts of the matter. I fear God, not man. This is something that needs to be said for the children. He's dangerous. He released people that hurt children. Raised your fatality rate. So here's what he said under oath. He said that, let me find this in here. I'm trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink in here. He said that he would not use me to testify in his court, even if it was determined that I didn't do anything wrong. Why is that? Because I'm a threat to the establishment. Even if I didn't do anything wrong, he's not gonna let me testify in his court. Wow. He says even if I were cleared of the charges, he says, okay, and you attend to the district attorney general's conference in whatever it happens to be, it changes from Nashville to Memphis to Knoxville. Yeah, they're attorney general crooked office. But you attended those on your yearly basis, correct? I attended the annual training conference every year, and then with a summer conference. Elected DAs that were required to go to, and that I attended. And then I generally attend all the executive committee meetings, the monthly executive committee meetings. Okay. And here's what he said. That I did not would your office be able to prosecute cases in which he was a witness? I don't think his credibility problem has been cured. So, did you, as part of your strike, that your assistant attorney has become aware of all the issues as well? Correct. So he's saying, if Trooper Morgan was come back to work, that would your office do with respect to the cases that he would bring to your office? I'll note objection, but I'm continue to ask the question. Well, frankly, it would be over my strenuous objection that Trooper Morgan would ever return to the 6th Judicial District for any purpose of law enforcement. Would your office be able to prosecute cases in which he was a witness? I don't think his credibility problem has been cured. So even if I came back to work, cleared through a judicial proceeding, he's going to say that he wouldn't use me to help the public because he's got a personal vendetta against me. Wow. Sheriff's deputy now. So, sheriff's deputy now. And here's what he lied about. He said, now this is his vindictive criminal offense. He's a criminal. Randy Nichols is a criminal. A prosecutor and a criminal. A lot of prosecutors in the state of Tennessee are criminals for the elite. They're not out fighting for you, the public. Okay, here's what he said. Under oath, let me find this phrase here. Here's what he says here, under oath. Let me find this right here. Okay, here's what he said under oath. Now, this is Randy Nichols, swore to tell the truth, and here's what he's saying under oath. This is a lie, and he's under ethical issue. Ethical. He knows more about lying than you do. Okay, did you ever receive any complaints prior to this incident about Trooper Morgan's performance in this arrest and prosecution of cases? Now, he's asked that question by my defense attorney. Did you ever receive any complaints prior to this incident about Trooper Morgan's performance in his arrest and prosecution of cases? And here's his answer. I believe that I received a report some time ago involving a stop involving a teenage female driver. So he says, God bless ambulance drivers. They're not like Randy Nichols, they actually protect the public. So he asked him, I'm going to stop it right there. He's testifying under oath. Randy Nichols, the prosecutor, he's wanted him and his predecessors come after you, commit crimes like perjury, like financial crimes that they claim they will. Is he a criminal himself? How about Jared Effler? How about Cody Wonk? How about Bill Gibbons, Tennessee prosecutors? Are they prosecuting crimes or protecting the elite? They're protecting the elite. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm proving it to you. I'm proving that they don't protect you against crime. They protect the elite against honest people and put down any opposition that would protect the public. Look at that picture. I'm protecting the public against a financial crime, and they're here under oath lying about me. They can lie under oath all they want to. You know why they're not afraid to lie under oath? Their lying under oath shows that we're willing to protect the elite. If we protect the elite, then we get a lifetime job because they know we'll continue to protect the elite. That's how dangerous it is. If you don't think that's a problem, then I don't know how to explain it to you any better. So he says he was asked under oath if he received any complaint about me other than that incident on Andersonville Pike. He answers that he did. That's what he said. Now he said that. He said I did. That's under oath. That's under oath. So then he admits that he's lying. So he just told a lie and admits under oath that he's lying. Where's the prosecutor at? The federal prosecutor at? Where's the state prosecutor at? You lied. You're trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink. You're trying to maliciously prosecute somebody falsely by bringing up stuff that don't matter. And then he knows he'll be held accountable for that, so he tries to unlie. But he lied. But he said under oath that he got a complaint. Did you ever receive a complaint prior to incident about Trooper Morgan's performance in this arrest? I believe that I received a report some time ago involving a stop involving a teenage female driver. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So he says that he received a complaint involving a teenage female driver. You see what he's trying to do? He even mentions earlier in this deposition about some Knoxville city officers that were having parties with underage girls and drinking. So he just throws that in here. Sly dog, ain't he? Sly criminal, ain't he? You dirty thug, Randy Nichols. How dare you do that? You sick piece of dirt. You think I'm gonna let you get to 1.3 million people, Randy? I'm out here on the sidewalk. You wanna discuss this, boy? You'll lie on me and get by with it. I'm not a violent person, you are. You're a danger to yourself and others. That's a prosecutor. So he accuses me of something slyly with a teenage girl in a stop. Wow. Do you think if I'd have stopped a teenage girl and throws that in a teenage girl, you see what he's trying to do? He's testifying under oath, saying that trash, that garbage, just throwing anything. I've never did anything wrong involving any teenage girl on any stop in any official capacity or non-official capacity. That's a dirty lie from him. He has now. I think that's gaslighting. So if he thinks that, maybe he's been involved in that. A lot of times people commit crimes and they'll blame you of the crimes that they commit. So Randy Nichols, let me ask you, what crime have you been involved in with a teenage girl, you dirtbag? Why can't I say that about him? He lied about me. It's called gaslighting, Randy. Spread this message. As Randy Nichols, ask him if you see him, say, hey Randy, were you involved with a teenage girl in your official capacity? That's what he said about me. We don't know. He needs to be asked that. Why did he say that I bring it up that I was? If I'd been involved in some kind of incident with a teenage girl, so he's leaving it open out there, biasing the jury, ringing the bell. He threw it out there under oath, didn't he? What a dirtbag. This is how they do people in their courtrooms. You don't think they'll do you this way? You're talking about a state trooper that led the highway patrol in drunk driving arrests that lowered your affordability, arresting people that were stealing your money, and he's up there in that courthouse throwing everything in the kitchen sink in, violating every kind of judicial ethic and civil lawyer ethical rules that you can think of, and just throwing in the mud. And then he says, and then let me finish that. Now that's what he said. He testified under. That'd be a lie. Let's cut it off right there. A lie. You go to jail, Randy. No, Randy, you get promoted, get a lifetime job with the sheriff's department. So maybe you can help the sheriff go into people's house and kill 18-year-olds and then go to the sheriff's department and then defend the sheriff's department with your predecessor because she's your buddy and say, the sheriff did nothing wrong. We got no video, but they did nothing wrong. Trust me, I don't lie. You lie under oath. You're a dirty liar. And did you have something to do with a teenage girl? I think it's fair for me to ask that. That's what he said about me. And that's not true. That's a lie. I had video cameras. Every car I stopped. I was putting more people in jail than any troop in the state. You think I had time to be doing anything illicit or criminal? Hell no. Did he have time? He was sitting up there in the courthouse under Judge Baumgardner letting him rape women in the back hallway, and he didn't know nothing about that either. Yeah, right. Randy, you're a thug. 1.3 million people and more know about you. You ought to write out your warrant, turn yourself into the jailhouse, live out your miserable life, your miserable lying life. And if you had anything to do with a teenage girl in any illicit manner like you're trying to accuse me of, may God help you in jail. I heard they don't treat people like that. They do very good in a prison. So, I'm just saying, the image they present to you in public is not the image. Here's a little image of what they're doing. This is how they prosecute you. This is how Sean Matticello, she brings up stuff, and then listen to what she says. He admits that that's not true. But what did he do? He rang the bell. You can't unhear something. He biased the judges. So, and that's what they do all the time. So here's what he said. He said, now this is deposition, look. Deposition of Randy Nichols. Under oath. He's testifying under oath. This ain't just some locker room comment. This is him testifying under oath. Under oath that what he's saying, and then let me finish the sentence here. This is him testifying under oath. Joe Bartlett, what an attorney he is. We'll talk about him in just a second. He's prosecuting for the state. He'll prosecute anything. He gets a feather in his cap for stealing innocent people's money. So he's sworn witness, Randy Nichols, sworn witness. Wow. And now he works for the sheriff's department. They just killed somebody and he's telling the truth. He lied under oath, but he's telling the truth now. And you can go home in Knox County. People don't like to hear this. Go home in Knox County and sleep just fine. A sheriff's deputy will not march into your door for no reason. Randy Nichols says that's true. They had a reason. And Randy Nichols said that I was involved on a stop, he believed, with a teenage driver. That's what he said. That's not true. And he even admits that's not true. So he backs out of his lie, but he's already said it. He's already lied under oath. So here's what he said. This is how they do. This is their little play. He's a lawyer, you know, he's a liar. You know, he knows how to flip stuff around, twist stuff and spin it, not to get to the truth. He don't care about the truth. Truth doesn't mean nothing to that lying idiot, that lying sack of shit. He'll go in your house and kill you, and he'll figure out the sheriff department did nothing wrong. They got video cameras show it did, but we'll get rid of them. We'll do this. We'll rig, and we're convicting an innocent person because that's a feather in my hat. I'm Randy God Nichols, friends with the district attorney's husband in Memphis. It's the biggest county in the state where I can lock up more people in the world and we can keep in power. Yeah, what a bunch of thugs they are. Go home, sleep good at night, knowing Randy Nichols won't illegally have a sheriff's deputy in Knox County. He's a Christian, come in your house and shoot you dead. That's the truth. You don't want to hear it? Go to sleep. Maybe you won't get killed by a sheriff's deputy. You're worried about a thug. People in Knox County are worried about criminals busting in their houses. I'd worry about the sheriff's department getting backed up by a lying Randy Nichols who works for the sheriff's department now. The sheriff's department coming in your house and Randy Nichols lying them out of it. That's what might happen. I wouldn't be afraid of a criminal. I'd be afraid of a street criminal. I'd be afraid of a government criminal. Much more dangerous. I'm not just saying this, I think it's a good idea to say that's pretty horrific and pretty astonishing, pretty inflammatory. I have a Master of Arts in Sociology. The emphasis in criminology from the University of Tennessee. I'm speaking from science. The most dangerous people, look at the textbooks, are not your street criminals. They're Randy, lying, not worth a plug nickel, Sharman, Tissue, Allen. They're people in the government power, people in positions of a power that use their position to commit crimes on you. That's who's dangerous. The sheriff's department, deputies, and their lying attorney that works for them now. That's the truth. That's a fact. That's science. Now, people know that, I hope. So here's the angels. So the worst criminals scientifically, scientists, social is a science, social scientists. They do experiments and tests and they count numbers and they do surveys and they look at crimes. And they tell you the most dangerous criminals are not street criminals. You don't have to worry about locking your door because a thug criminal is going to march down the street, a drug addict, and kick in your door and go in your house and shoot you dead. You don't have to worry about that. That rarely happens. Now the news media tell, oh my gosh, that happens all the time. Be worried about the thugs. The people live under the bridge. They're going to come and get you and they're going to murder you. Be worried about that crime. That's what they tell you on the news. This is real news. Remember, this is unbridled news. This is scientific news. This is educated. I got a Master of Arts from their university, a doctor's jurisprudence from their law schools, passed the bar twice. This is real news, unbridled, telling you the truth. I'm protecting you. This is free stuff. Unpaid for, telling you the truth. The real criminals from scientific evidence, 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is not 4. The real criminals who you really have to worry about breaking in your house at night and locking your door ain't going to matter. The sheriff's department will kick it in. Is the sheriff's department, the Knox County Sheriff's Department kicking in your door and killing you dead, not because you committed a crime, because they're dangerous thugs that are keeping people in power, and they're committing crimes to do it against you and against humanity. That's unbridled, the truth news. You won't hear that anywhere else. How long you're going to hear it, I don't know. They might try to kill me. They've tried before, put me in the hospital. If they don't like what I'm saying, say he's a raving lunatic. He's completely freaking crazy. Like Sharman Tissue Allen, we'll drill him a new asshole. That's what she said to me. That's how they talk. That's how they talk. She literally said that to me. When I was trying to prosecute a lawyer's daughter for DUI, just like I would everybody, being fair, the fair playing field, She said the attorney, she wanted to dismiss the case. She said the attorney will, Sharman Tissue Allen, the prosecutor now, she won't say this, she don't say this on the podcast, but she said it to me, it's not hearsay. She said the attorney, I didn't want to dismiss it. She wanted to dismiss it, and I wanted to let the judge hear the case and testify. She said her attorney will drill you a new asshole. That's how they talk behind the. Do they tell you that? He'll drill me a new asshole. Let me tell you what. If you got to talk like that to people, you certainly that's not professional. Drill me a new asshole. That's what Sharman Tissue said. A sick, pathetic person. She'd drive down the interstate 90 miles an hour, and her prosecutors are drunk. Her prosecutors listen to that attorney-client privilege, and they got caught this time. So Randy Nichols, and then he admits, we'll show you the second part. And then he admits that he's lying under oath, because then he backs out of it. But he's wanting to throw that out there. I'll do whatever I want to do. I'm a God Nichols. I'm a God Sharman Tissue Allen. I'll prosecute an innocent person. Big feather in my cap. You'll be a feather in their cap. You'll be a feather in their cap. They'll piss on your grave. That's how sick these people are. You think they care? They don't care a bit. Look what he did under oath. Then he says, and he backs out, admits he's lying under oath. He says under oath. He says, did you receive any prior complaints to this incident about Trooper, prior to this incident about Trooper Morgan's performance in his arrest and prosecution of cases? I believe that I had received a report some time ago involving a stop involving a teenage female driver, but I'm reluctant to say for certain because I simply cannot remember if it was him or not. I want to say that it was, but that would be unfair, sure. So he admits that he don't know. So in court testimony, he admits that. So he's trying to be fair. A lawyer, he's got advanced knowledge. He knows about perjury. So he says he believed he received a complaint that's completely baseless, that he don't know, and he even admits that. So he's accusing me of something that he don't know. So I'm saying, I could say, I believe that Randy Nichols was involved in the rape of a child. Now, I'm just using this paraphrase. I believe that Randy Nichols was involved in rape of a child because I believe that I heard something about him raping a child. Now, I can say this. I'm just giving you an example of what he said. This is Randy Nichols, the great man that he is. How dare you, Randy? And so let's do this to you, boy. Yeah. I mean, this is how he does. This is how he does the public. This is how he did me. So let's give him a little back. I believe that I heard something. I'm not even testifying under oath. Listen, tell him I said this. Text Randy and tell him that somebody's out there talking to 3.3 million people talking about you and a child. So I believe, and put all this together, I believe that I heard something about Randy Nichols involving a child rape, involving rape of a child, or something similar to that. But I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say that. Why can't I say that's what he said, isn't it? And I'm not saying that's true. I'm just giving you an example. I mean, he did that a little bit. Let's do that to him. Let's fire back on his dumb ass. And I'm just wondering, legitimately, and I'm saying this, isn't it true that gaslighting, it's a fact, it's a real phenomenon, that people that know you, that are trying to run you down or something, that know you, and he knows me, I'm not talking about blanket people, but there's a phenomenon called gaslighting, and this is a real phenomenon. And I'm just questioning, this is the question I'm asking. If Randy Nichols, and I know Randy, if Randy Nichols is accusing me, that's absolutely false. Let me say that's false. There's no record of that. He didn't receive a complaint of that. If he did, it was a false complaint. And if he did receive a complaint, before he testifies under oath about that, he knows it's unethical to present something that you're not sure of. He's a lawyer. He shouldn't even have said that. That is perjury in and of itself. So, if he's saying that, then that's in his mind. So, is he gaslighting me? Gaslighting is when you're guilty of accusing somebody of something that they didn't do, and you accuse them of something you're doing. So I'm just saying, based on legitimate logic, and knowledge, so there's some fans, based on legitimate knowledge and logic, is it not reasonable to say, now he just came out of the blue. Now I was out arresting drunk drivers, keeping the fatality rate down, arresting people that were committing financial crimes, keeping affordability reasonable. So I didn't deserve any of that. I wasn't testifying against anybody falsely. They can't prove any of that. They didn't have any evidence, so he just throws that trash out there. And I'm just wondering, this is a legitimate question to ask. Was he gaslighting? Was he committing? And I'm just wondering why he did that. I didn't accuse him of anything without any evidence. I'm just asking, what is he guilty of doing that because he's gaslighting me? He's accusing me of something completely baseless that he was doing. Was he involved with a teenage girl? Was Randy Nichols involved? And I'm just asking because I wasn't. So why is he gaslighting? Was he involved with a teenage girl? Was Randy Nichols, here, let's see, this, because this is what he said. This is Randy Nichols, deposition Randy Nichols. Now he's accusing me of this. Was he gaslighting? Was Randy Nichols involved in a stop or in his office involving a teenage female driver? Was he involved with in his office with a teenage female defendant? Now I don't know. Now he's accusing me of something. So was it because he was? And then he goes on to admit that he's lying under oath. Because I simply cannot remember if it was him or not. Then why is he saying that? I want to say that it was, but that would be unfair. Is it unfair to bring something up that you don't know for sure in a civil deposition that somebody could be charged criminally for while you're under oath? That'd be unfair, wouldn't it? So he's ringing a bell, throwing that out there. Well, I'm just throwing it out there. Is Randy Nichols involved with little innocent teenage girls? I don't know. He gaslighted me. I'm just turning the question on him. And listen to this. Then he admits that he don't know for sure. And then he says, now do you look into Trooper Morgan's past performance? Just generally with the highway patrol, because you made your decision to dismiss the cases. Other than asking some of the lawyers that I prosecuted their children because they were drunk driving, just like some of the public, and dealt with them the same way, that handled his cases, I did not go in beyond that. Okay, listen to this right here. If I represent to you that Trooper Morgan maintained an exceptional annual evaluation by the Department of Safety and received numerous accommodations for his arrest and prosecution DUI, would that affect your determination that he is credible? That he has no credibility? No. So then it's fair to say that that the incident involving this crash with Mr. and Tina Trooper Morgan's actions after that crash, is that the sole reason that you feel like his credibility? Yes. So he ignores the fact that even after that incident, even after that pursuit on Andersonville Highway, that my supervisor looked at the video, didn't think I'd done anything wrong, think I'd done everything right, and gave me all fives in December after the incident that happened in November. Completely aware, my immediate supervisor, a covert operation was conducted by him and Bill Gibbons, ignoring my supervisor that they put over me, because they get where they're going no matter what. The laws don't matter. So he lied under oath. He's a criminal. That's what he said. Bringing up sick stuff. There's sick people at that Attorney General's office. They're sick people. So here's a police officer that's getting persecuted by a Morgan County prosecutor for defending his life. Prosecutors don't go after crime, they go after people to make themselves look good, to keep people in power. Ray Faircloth is accused of killing a man without reason, and the man had a rock. Do you not remember, and still ongoing seriousness of an incident where a Knox County deputy got hit in the head with a man with a rock? A rock is dangerous, it's a deadly weapon. If someone is charging you with a rock and intending to hurt you or throw it at you as a police officer, you got every right in the world to shoot them. You got every right to defend your life. Why is a prosecutor persecuting an innocent person? I believe because they're dirty prosecutors. Morgan County deputy shot, killed man, charging him with a rock, faces charges, TBI says. Suspect charging with a rock or anything and you don't stop, you're gonna get put down. What part of Tennessee is it? This is Knox County, Tennessee. This is all over Tennessee. Dirty prosecutors all over the state. So thank you for your comment. So a Knox County deputy is still in serious condition because he got hit in the head by a rock. A Tennessee prosecutor is prosecuting a deputy where a man was threatening him with a rock. So they just pick and choose whatever they want to do. The facts and circumstances don't make any difference at all. And they prosecute people. One of the reasons why they're prosecuting me, Tennesseans, Christian Tennesseans that go to church, God bless you all, hope for your followers and believers in the Lord Jesus Christ, was because I was a Christian. See right there in that pocket right there? That's a Bible. That's a Bible. One of the reasons I kept that Bible is because somebody shot at me. That's a little protection. I have to go through that New Testament. I also had a ballistic vest on. There's a close-up of my pocket. That's a Bible in my pocket. They persecuted me because I'm a Christian. Because I fought evil. Now I'm fighting them, they're evil. So gaslighting's what Randy Nichols did. An example of gaslighting is if someone repeatedly tells you your perception of event is incorrect when you have evidence to the contrary. To make evidence to the contrary, you question your memory and sanity. Other explanations include denying something was said or done, blaming you for their own mistake. Blaming you for their own mistake. Gaslighting. Was Randy Nichols gaslighting me when he accused me of something with a teenager? Manipulation meant to gain control over you. That's what these prosecutors do. They manipulate you. They manipulate you to gain control over you. Not to enforce the law. Not to keep crime rate down, not to protect the public, to gain control over you for Mr. Bill Lee. Is he a Christian? He doesn't live like one. So the prosecutor's office, people say this is past history. No, it's not. This is present. This is present and this is ongoing. October 16th, 2024 in the newspaper. This is under Charmin Tissue Allen's, right under her nose. Robert DeBusk. Listen to what he did. Prosecutor. Robert, Knox County Assistant District Attorney. Robert DeBusk resigned Tuesday following allegations that he lied under oath about violating attorney-client privilege by assessing and protecting communications between inmates and their defense attorneys. DeBusk was suspended after questions arose about his improper access to an email and a recorded voicemail from jail inmates to their attorneys, raising concerns about his handling of privileged information. So now that's just part of the story, because the news won't tell you the whole story. He resigned. Why wasn't he prosecuted? I've heard he's already got another job. If you lie under oath or violate the law, you go to jail. Why hasn't he been put in jail? And this is under the administration of Sharman Tissue Allen. Of course, she's going to deny any knowledge. But did she know about this? They don't talk about that on her podcast. Her podcast doesn't ask questions about, are you all still listening to recorded conversations and violating attorney-client privilege? Prosecuting people with information that you have no legal right to. I mean, if they listen to, and I don't know if they're doing it today, they got caught doing it. How long have they been doing it? I would like to ask them that. Why wasn't he prosecuted? Has he been prosecuted? They want to talk about they're helping the elderly on their podcast, and they're answering questions. They're answering questions that they want to ask. Their questions are answered are, how are you helping the elderly? And we're helping the elderly because we're prosecuting people that harm the elderly. That's a tough question, and that's a tough question. How about Mr. Robert DeBusk was listening to phone calls and privileged information, violating the law, lied under oath. How long had that been going on? Did you listen to any conversations, Miss Sharman Tissue Allen, involving attorney-client privilege? Let's answer those questions. I'm talking about the prosecutor that's set up to protect the public. That's the facade. The prosecutor's not set up to protect the public. The prosecutor's set up to protect people like Mr. Robert DeBusk's crimes, because they protected us against his crimes. If you know what the attorney is telling and talking to his client about, and you know what his client is telling the attorney, isn't that a wonderful advantage? That's like sitting in the camp of the enemy's meeting where they're going to go to war against you. You know where they're going to go, and you know all their plans. And if you're listening to a client talking to his attorney, and the attorney's talking to the client, and you're listening to that information that you're not supposed to have access to, you know what their defense is, so you can counter it. And the attorney gets up and says, well, my client wasn't there because of this incident, and you already know what they're going to say, and you can stand up, you're ready, and they're saying, man, he's a pressing defense attorney. No, we already looked into that, and there's evidence to say that he was there, and we're going to say, wow, how did he know they were going to bring that up? They're so intelligent, such great prosecutors, because they're sitting in the camp of people that got a constitutional right, Fifth Amendment, to a fair trial, due process. And the judge in Knox County, backing up the power, didn't even find him in violation of perjury laws, even though he lied under oath in open court. Wow. They protect the elite. They don't protect you against crime. They don't protect your financial crimes. They don't protect you at all. They protect the power elite. They're against you. There's a few group of people that are against you, mass populace. You know why they're afraid of me? Why they're afraid of you? There's a hell of a lot more of us than you. A hell of a lot more of us. We can do something about it. One thing, vote that dirtbag criminaloid out of office, conduct a special investigation, and put her ass in jail. She wants to tear me a new asshole. Yeah, it ain't working very good, is it? Call these people, tell them, listen to this podcast. Yeah. So that is what a prosecutor right now, just last year under Sharman Tissue Allen was doing. How long they been doing that? Probably a long time, I bet. How long they've been prosecuting innocent people? Even if you're innocent, you're talking to your attorney, they can develop theories and try to blow your truth out of the water. They don't play fair. They don't play legally. They don't obey the Constitution. It's not a constitutional court. It's a court that's in their favor, in their flavor, that they get whatever they want. It's a feather in their cap when they convict an innocent person. They convict guilty people all the time. That ain't no big deal to them. That's easy to do. That's easy as hell. They do that all the time. And and then they get an innocent person in there. They get a smile on their face. Yeah, that's a challenge. We'll get this done. But you're an innocent person? Yeah, we love it. We like it. They won't tell you that, but they tell them a new asshole. That's how they talk behind the back hallway. They love that innocent thing. Oh, yeah, we can do whatever we want. We're God. Yeah, that's what they do. They convict. Sharma Tissue Allen, I believe, convicts innocent people. Feathers! Woo! We're beautiful. Yeah, that's it. And you walk around here and you think it's a free country, you got constitutional rights. Not as long as those people sit up there in that dirty courthouse. Let me show you that dirty courthouse. Not as long as people sit up there in this dirty courthouse right here. Look at that dirty courthouse right over there. That dirty courthouse. Right there it is. The line dirty courthouse. Yeah, her office is probably right there on the corner. You think you got a free country? I ain't got a table in the courthouse. They don't like what I say. Imagine that. I'm accusing them of crimes. Yeah, they accuse you of crimes you didn't commit. They accuse me of stuff I didn't do. Go to a jury. Don't let them bargain with you, get you to admit to a crime you didn't do. No matter how many times I ask you to do it, get a jury of your peers. Tell them, and let a jury decide. Don't let them bully you into pleading guilty. So thank y'all. Got a bunch of people in here. So Randy Nichols lied on me under. I just showed you. That's his testimony. That's his testimony under oath. Knox County Sheriff's liar now. He'll lie for the Sheriff's Department. Lied against me, he'll lie for the Sheriff's Department. He'll protect sheriff deputies from coming in your house and killing you dead, and we don't know if they had justifiable reason or not. Go home, sleep well tonight, knowing that a deputy sheriff might kick your door down, shoot you in the head. And Randy Nichols is an attorney for them. He'll jump up on the stand and say, they was involved with a teenage girl and they had a right to go in their house. Yeah. I mean, he'll say they said that about me. He won't do it again. He's learned his lesson. He won't do it again. He's learned his lesson. Yeah. You believe that? If you want to live in that kind of world, in a beautiful, flowery world, then you go right ahead. Hopefully they won't kill you. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I'm not sure. Depends on what they need. If they can't solve a crime, they might accuse you of it to get a conviction. You know, convicting an innocent person, but they got a conviction and they sold it and they're happy. And go home and sleep at night. Or if you want to live in the real world where there's a bunch of thorns and there's a bunch of creeps and there's a bunch of liars and there's a bunch of gaslighters and they're in the government, they're in power in the government. They're not thieves you have to worry about. Science tells us, statistics tells us that murder and serious crimes that the news media sensationalize, that you need to be worried about murder from a thug. Science tells us from a criminologist's perspective, that's not what you need to worry about. The crime of murder and the serious crimes of rape and the most serious crimes that are sensationalized in the public, rest assured, they don't happen very often. The crimes that happen very often, that aren't reported, are petty crimes, minor thefts, and less serious crimes that are more of an annoyance. So you can walk around and feel pretty safe. You're probably not going to get murdered. The news media tells you are. I'm just telling you, as a social scientist with an advanced degree in criminology, I'm telling you the facts, unbridled. I'm not trying to sell sensationalism. I'm selling you the truth, unbridled truth. None of these people ain't weighing me down. I'm fighting for you just like I was when they started fighting me. I'm still fighting them. They didn't do a good enough job trying to kill me. They didn't get it done. And that's their first mistake. If you attack me, you better get it done, because I ain't going away. And God's on my side. I won't fear what the Christian governors and the Christian people in power do to me. I'm afraid of God. Alleged Christians, I don't know their heart. I'm telling you, I don't know their heart, but I know how they live. I know their fruits, and it's pretty crooked. So you don't have to worry about getting murdered. You don't have to worry about getting raped. Those are issues, and you need to take care of yourself. But it's sensationalized. Your chances of getting murdered are very slim. there's not a high likelihood of your chances of getting raped are not a high likelihood. Unless you get put in jail wrongly by one of them, you get raped in jail, and they might cause your rape. They won't tell you that. But your chances of the serious crimes are way overreported according to social science. They're sensationalized by the news media. You don't have a high likelihood of getting raped and murdered. It's very low. Now, still take precautions. Don't do stupid stuff like be out by yourself at night in a dangerous area. But barring being strictly, just completely not protecting yourself at all, you don't have to be worried about crime, about serious crimes. Way overreported in the news media, and very less likely to happen. You're not likely to get murdered. It's probably the odds are you're not going to get murdered. Odds are you're not going to get raped by a thug. The odds are, according to criminology, the news media won't report that. Unbridled news will. Listen to this news. The odds are pretty high likelihood. I'm showing you a case right here. I'll show you a case here. I'll show you a case in Cody Womp, in Chattanooga. Show you a case in Memphis, Shelby County. Show you a case in Claiborne County, where you might get robbed, so to speak, or you might get put in jail by one of them illegitimately and raped in jail. Or you might get murdered by a sheriff's deputy. You might get murdered by the police unjustifiably. Real phenomenon. That is a likelihood. Maybe as high as the likelihood of getting murdered by a criminal street thug, or maybe higher. The people that you should be afraid of as a criminologist. I'm not just some babbling guy out here, don't know what to talk about. I've read books. I've been in law enforcement. I was in law enforcement 18 years. Led the state in protecting society. Numbers don't lie. Now, they said I didn't. They lie. I don't lie. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth against them. They don't like it. I don't care. First Amendment. Straighten out your act. Start protecting the public. Sign your own warrants. Write out what you did. You know what you did. Surreptitiously in these back hallways where you tell people they'll tear you a new asshole. I don't. That's pretty disgusting. She's a disgusting person. Write out your warrant. Turn yourself into jail. The odds are, from a criminologist's perspective, from an educated, life-lived perspective, Doctor of Jurisprudence, Master of Arts from this university, in criminology, your likelihood of being adversely affected, seriously damaged, financially or otherwise, is not your street criminal. It's not. The most serious, dangerous people, according to science, math, studies, surveys, scientists, not what you think or how you feel, real knowledge from textbooks, is people in government power, criminaloids, Sharman Tissue Allen, Randy Good-for-Nothing Nichols. That's science. That's the truth. Your chances of getting arrested wrongfully are from Cody Womp. Your chances of getting a hit put on you are from Bill Gibbons. Your chances of getting raped of your time are in Claiborne County, Jared Effler. The biggest criminals in Tennessee are, if you'd have stood outside the Attorney General Conference here in Knoxville, that's the criminals that you should be afraid of and fear, and you're likely to get damaged by them. Not by people homeless under the bridge. By people in these high offices, high-conflicting salaries, that are district attorney generals in the state and some in the federal government. And that's just the truth. You won't hear anywhere else from a scientific, educated. The news won't tell you that because they're afraid of these people. They won't get the benefits that they got. So let's talk about Randy Nichols. Randy not worth the plug nickel. That's what I call him. He lied on me. Let's talk about now. People said that was in the past. What about now? Let's look at this. I'll show you. It's on the Knox County Sheriff's Department website. Knox County Sheriff's Department website about this criminaloid. And let's look at him. Let's look at Mr. Randy Good-for-Nothing Lying Nichols. That maybe gaslighted me, might have something to do with a stop in his office of a teenage girl. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's what he said about me, but I can't say that about him. Yeah, I can, because what he said about me was baseless. He even admits it's baseless. He was lying under oath. I'm not even under oath. I'm presenting the evidence. What I'm saying about him is it has a basis. The basis is called gaslighting, accusing somebody else of your doing. Was he doing that? The reason why I'm accusing him of that is because he had no basis to say what he said. He even admits it. Even admits it was unfair, but still said it, still violated ethics laws, still perjured himself. So what I'm saying has a basis. It's called gaslighting. He said that. So look at this. Here's who he works for. Now, he lied on me to get me fired. Will he lie against you? Will the sheriff's department kill you and he lie for a sheriff's deputy about 3 miles from my house? I don't know. Let's look at him. Does he work for the sheriff's department? Knox County Sheriff's Office. He's a Christian. He's Christian. Christian man. Amen. He does right, doesn't he? He does right. Christian Sher. Woo! Christian. Hey, Christian, how you doing? He's Christian. They hang that banner. I'm a Christian. Woo! Hey, God's on my side. I can lie with God's authority. Wow. How about you open the Bible that you hold up, that's your banner, and read that thing. Read it. Look at it and study it. And like where it says it, don't bear false witness. And think, well, I need to make sure about what I'm saying is the damn truth. If I'm a Christian, or I'm not really a Christian, I'm just saying I am because a lot of people are and it gets me votes. And I can fool the Christian church. Christian sheriff. I'm just saying, and I got a right to say that. Look who he's hired in his office. He's hired a lawyer. I'm a Christian and I hired a lawyer, a perjurer. Works for my sheriff's department. But I'm a Christian, I can do that. God's on my side. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm a damn Christian. Do you live like it? I mean, let's just be real. I'm not afraid. God sent Van, who is a Christian. And Van reads that verse. It says, don't bear false witness. I read it. I think about it. I study it. I think real hard about that. And I don't bear false witness. I tell the truth. Absolute truth. Unbridled truth. Government's got no hold on me. Wrongly. I obey civil laws. I don't defame people. Defamation is false. This is true. The Christian governor hired a perjurer and a liar. Why would he do that for? Because he'll lie for them to protect them. You need a liar, a lawyer, and a liar on your department. So if your sheriff's deputies kill somebody illegitimately, then he can lie for them because he will. He's good at it. He's lied before, and he gets a lifetime employment for lying. Here's his employee, Randy Nichols. Woo, boy, you're a good man, ain't you? A good liar. Was he involved? He looks like was he involved with a teenage girl stop in his office? I'm just saying. And look who he works for. Sheriff. The sheriff, hired him. And he is protecting your rights. So yeah. And the Christian Anner. So here's what we got to do. I've got to hope and pray I can successfully fight. What I do matters. So help me do what I do matters, pointing out the criminaloids, people in power, the most dangerous people. Contrary to what the news says, they're not your street thug, it's your government power thugs, government power perjurers and liars that never do a day in jail for it. What we do matters. Let's look at Randy Nichols. He's working for the sheriff's department now. He is a sheriff's deputy, attorney for the sheriff's department. Randy Nichols was admitted to the Tennessee bar in September 1973. In February 1976, he was sworn in as an assistant district attorney. So he's had a lot of time to persecute innocent people for Knox County, where he remained until he re-entered private practice. He practiced with the firm of Harwood and Nichols in the area of criminal defense until he was appointed judge of Criminal Court Division 1 for Knox County in June 1988. So he was appointed. He wasn't even elected. Then he was elected after he was appointed, I believe. He left the bench August 1992 to become District Attorney General for Knox County, where he served for 22 years of mistreating the public before retiring. He has been with the Sheriff's Office as a special counsel for the past 5 years. So he lied against me under oath. I just told you. And now he works for the Sheriff's Department to defend the public or defend the sheriff against the possibility of killing you. So worry about a street thug or worry about this thug. He's a thug. He's a liar. He'll bring anything in the kitchen sink to prove a lie. He'll prove a lie. It doesn't matter. That's a feather in his cap. So he works for the Sheriff's Department. So he lied. If you lie under oath, you'd be in jail. You go to jail. They lie under oath to protect the establishment, and they keep an establishment job because the establishment knows this guy's on our team. He'll do whatever it takes to keep us in power, to make us sheriff, to keep our paychecks coming in. That's the truth. Nobody likes to hear the truth. They think they can stick their, no, some people do. God bless you all. People want to keep their head in the sand and think that the prosecutor's office is on our side, that they will prosecute crime and make us live in a safe environment. No. They ain't not the facts. What they do is prosecute innocent people to keep them in power, to get your paycheck, to keep their lifelong jobs and their lifelong government paychecks and their lifelong government benefits. And then, if they feel like it need to, they kill you, or they will. And they'll lie on you in court. So he's a sheriff's deputy now. That's right off their page. That's not innuendo or hearsay. He's a sheriff's deputy, a liar, a perjurer, and he got a job with the Sheriff's Department because he will lie for the sheriff. So when you get out here and you're saying, hey, these people are dirty, look at these depositions, I'm presenting facts. And the sheriff deputy comes out here, and I say, wait, I'm on a public sidewalk, I got a right to say this. If you don't like it, speak against me, call a press conference. And they will literally throw you on the ground, beat you up, put you in jail, accuse you, make up a crime. And then they got their former prosecutor. Then they got their former prosecutor that's already lied under oath. I showed you where he lied under oath. It's on a deposition, a fact, evidence to get something through a court system that was false, to get somebody off the road that protected you financially, protect your affordability. He don't care about your affordability. He cares about staying in power, lying to protect the elite. So he'll get a job in the elite. And then they do that to you, and then they have their liar, Randy Nichols, to defend the sheriff's deputy. He had every right to beat him up and do what he did. Do it again, see what happens. So that's the truth. He sat up there in that courthouse while the judge was raping women. Randy Nichols did that. That's not a fluke, because the judge did what Randy Nichols wanted him to do. So he let him rape women in the courthouse, I believe. So if you give me rulings, you can rape, rob, steal, whatever. Now he's working at the Sheriff's Department. So give him a job, give him a paycheck, the sheriff can go out here and do whatever he wants to do, and under the Christian banner. If a prosecutor even mentions an allegation with no proof, even if they walk it back, the damage is done, the bell is rung, they get away with smearing a man, and we call that justice. That's what they did. That's what they did to me. He smeared me. You've seen his testimony. So if a prosecutor even mentions allegations with no proof, even if they walk it back, the damage is done, the bell is rung, they get away with smearing a man, and we call that justice. If I lied under oath, I go to jail. He lied by implication and walked free, some courtroom, different rules, that is corruption. And if they'll do it to a trooper on the road protecting society, in the news for protecting society, at the time, what will they do for you if they feel the need? Any damn thing they want to do. As a criminologist, as a sociologist, as someone who has a doctorate of jurisprudence, passed the bar, as a human being, as a man that's 61, not a kid, not Charlie Kirk, somebody that's lived a life, somebody that knows what's going on, seen it. The people to fear, God help you, listen, is people in government power. Our prosecutors are dirty as hell. They prosecute people to keep people in power. They use prosecution as a weapon, not to keep down crime. That's what they do. My answer to that, they don't want to hear this. They don't want you to hear this. My answer to that, it's not violence. I don't believe in violence. I think that's wrong. I literally have a Bible and I open it up and I read the part where it says God hates violence. God hates violence. Now, self-defense is not violence, but God hates violence. If you're a violent person, you're not somebody that I agree with. But my answer, and the FBI, TBI, Randy Nichols, he'd like for me to say, I'm going to shoot him up, I'm going to beat him up. My answer is very simple. It's to join voters of truth and rage. This is the truth. You don't like it? It's not pretty. I hate to tell you, it's not pretty, and it's going to get worse unless we do something about it. It can get better. What we do can make a difference. Join, vote, subscribe, like, share, get the message out. These dirty prosecutors, vote them out. Vote them out. So that's just Randy Nichols. That's just Randy Nichols. Sharman Tissue Allen. That's not the other prosecutors. Prosecutors are a weapon to fight against people, fight against the public, to keep people in power. Let's talk about wrinkled Captain Major now Heatherly. Now, why do prosecutors leave some people alone and attack other people? If you're a member of the mass population, they leave you alone. If you're a crime-fighting threat that is for the public good, then you're a danger to them. And you're nobody. If you're a member of the mass population, then you're not worth a damn. They don't care. If they got a crime they need solved, can't find who did it, they'll stick it on you if they feel like it. Charge in your house. If you don't know what's going on, defend yourself, they'll kill you. And they got Randy Nichols to say that's okay. And the people they leave alone are wrinkled Major Captain Heatherly. How do they know who to leave alone, who to attack? You know, Major Heatherly's parents, one of them was a doctor. He fought he was a military hero. Hello. Hello. He was a military hero. He was a veteran. And they had a proclamation in the state Tennessee House honoring her father as a veteran and war hero. And then you say, well, that's good. It is good. It is good. But they did that not because for her father's sake, which I appreciate her father's service to this country. I don't appreciate her service. It's been a disservice. She's part of the prosecution of citizens wrongly. Done a lot of devastating, evil things, and got by with it in the court system. How does she get by with it? These prosecutors don't prosecute her for crimes against humanity. Because her father was a military veteran. They got a lot of military veterans, but they gave a proclamation in the Tennessee House honoring her father when he passed away. So they're saying that, hey, this lady, because her father we got a proclamation in the state, we're making a statement that she's one of the untouchables. She's in the government's making a state proclamation about her honorable father, leave her alone. She does whatever she wants to do. Don't prosecute her. There's a state proclamation. The state proclamation is not so much about her father, it's about her family and her relatives. Leave them alone. Don't prosecute them. They're state. They're government power. So she won't get prosecuted for anything. And if you think I'm running down her father, I'm not running down her father. He was a doctor and a military veteran. Thank him for his service. A lot of people served in the military and have done great things. But they don't get a state proclamation. Why would her father get a state proclamation? I mean, they could proclamate all day, and they should give a proclamation to all these military heroes and state government, every one of them. They don't do that. They only make a state proclamation to let the public know, to let the prosecutors know, this person is untouchable, not subject to the relatives, or not subject to criminal laws, not subject to criminal prosecution. There's a proclamation in state government not honoring her father. He's gone. Telling the public, leave her ass alone in her Recall drunk uniform. She doesn't do nothing wrong. Leave her alone. So she can't be prosecuted for anything. They won't prosecute her. The prosecutors know that. There's a state proclamation. And why don't they have a proclamation for Larry Bledsoe, the soldier who risked his life, let other people out of a building in Vietnam, and on the way out, he was the last one out, cut his side open, and deserves a Purple Heart for risking his life. Enemy fire knocked the building over. Why don't they give him his Purple Heart and make a proclamation for everybody to honor him? Because they don't want to honor him. They don't want to give him a Purple Heart. It's a military veteran. Deserves a Purple Heart, been withheld from him, from people in power, because it doesn't benefit them to give him his due. And it doesn't benefit them to make a proclamation when he dies, so they won't. But if he was somebody in power, somebody they want to protect, somebody part of the elite, somebody kin to Bill Lee, somebody kin to Bill Haslam, somebody kin to Cody Wonk, somebody kin to Jared Effler, somebody kin to Sharma Tissue Allen, somebody kin to Bill Goober, somebody kin to Tracy Trotz, somebody kin to people in power, they make a proclamation because they're proclamating to all the state, leave their relatives alone. They're one of us. So why does her dad have a proclamation honoring him? It's not about honoring him. They got a lot of military veterans. It's about his relatives. It's proclamating that your relatives are untouchable in the criminal justice system. Prosecutors, leave them alone. Leave her alone. Well, she did this. I don't care. There's a proclamation. We proclamated that. That's what that proclamation's about. It's not about honoring her dead father. God rest his soul. Thank you for your service. A lot of people, they don't proclamate that your relatives are unprosecutable, because they are. But she's one that's in the end that will lie for the elite, that prosecutors won't prosecute them for their crimes. So did I explain that pretty damn well? They proclamated her out of getting prosecuted. Sharma Tissue Allen won't prosecute her for her lies. She's unprosecutable. There's a proclamation on the books. It's like 30 in Knoxville. Crazy you're just standing in it. Yeah, I'm warm. I'm tough. I'm fighting a war. You ought to be proud of that. You ought to appreciate that. Fighting a war for you out on the street in public. So thank you for the comment. I'm right down the road from you, okay? Come on down. Come on down. If you want to try to hurt me, I got something for you. You won't like it. You know, they got the message out that I'm a coward. Well, stuff I was involved in, they called me a coward for. I wasn't running from anybody. Never have. Except for one time when I was a kid and learned better. Didn't feel good about it. You live and learn. So there's a proclamation, don't prosecute her. They got proclamations in state government that are telling them, hey, these people are off limits. Crimes, they can do it, they're in power, and prosecutors obey that. So let's talk about Bill Gibbons. The prosecutor in Shelby County. You think he would have prosecuted Bill Hasbin? Hell no. Hell no, they don't prosecute the rich people. They prosecute you. Say, but I don't commit a crime. You don't understand? They still prosecute you if they feel giddy, if they want to. And if you're not guilty, that's even better off for them. So Bill Gibbons, the former prosecutor, prosecutors are dirty in Tennessee. Look at my icon. They're dirty. Bill Gibbons is a dirty man. Bill Gibbons lied under oath. He's a liar. He's a former prosecutor and a liar. He lied under oath. I can prove he lied under oath with factual evidence. He put a lot of people in jail. Did he lie on a lot of people? I think so. I think every case in Shelby County ought to be looked into. People's records ought to be cleaned if they're out of jail. And I think that he should be put in jail for perjury and fraud. So here's his picture. Bill Gibbons, Commissioner of Safety, under Bill Haslam. So he's Shelby County, former Shelby County liar, prosecutor and a liar. And here's Bill Gibbons. Now this is where I put in for a promotion. You think I would have got a promotion standing up for the truth and standing up for prosecuting guilty people, standing up for prosecuting their buddies? Hell no. Hell no. So hell no. So many people got on here, look at the bridge. Man, we got almost close to 200 people like, share, comment, spread the message. So let's talk about Bill Gibbons. So if you're right down the street, I won an award. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just saying. It says right down the street. So I'm right here. I'm not going after anybody. But I won an award several times when I was in law enforcement. I was got first place at the firing range. So I'm pretty proficient with self-defense tactics. So I know how to use for self-protection. I believe in the Second Amendment of the United States, and I do pretty good at that. They can say I'm a coward. The stuff they lied about me, I wasn't running from anybody. So they got some verbal judo, so they got some bad data. And if you try to hurt me, you'll have a bad day, a very bad day. Let me assure you. I'm good on confrontation. I handle that really well. That's my forte. That's what I enjoy. That's why I'm out here fighting the big dogs. A big fight against real crooks, except for I'm an honest Christian fighter. I fight wrong. I fight dirtbags. And I don't fight them with these. I don't fight them with these. This is for my protection. If you come and try to take my life from me, then I know how to defend it. And I'm not just saying, I am telling you to prevent you from having a bad day. Because I know very well what I'm doing. No scratches on me. No scratches on their heroes because they're dumbasses. So let's look at Randy Nichols. Now Randy Nichols, he got rid of me through lying. He's a former prosecutor in Shelby County. He got rid of me because he lied on me. Former prosecutor for Governor Bill Lee. And the reason why they get rid of older troopers is for money. This is my retirement. See, I got 15 years of credible service, which cut my retirement short. So you get 15 years, and if you do, at that time I had 15, I had 18. If you do 30, you get full retirement benefits. But when you're getting close to retirement, they get rid of you so they don't have to pay your retirement. So Randy Nichols, in conjunction with Bill Goober, took my job from me for money. They lie on people for money. Even though I'm out lowering the fatality rate, and then they hire these new kids that run into each other, policemen running into policemen. So that's one reason they get rid of people. Now Bill Gibbons lied under oath. And he is related to the former, and at the time, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, Miss Gibbons, over the federal court system. So a prosecutor is related to a federal judge. Wow, isn't that interesting how that works out? So you think somebody's going to prosecute him or sue him when his wife's going to decide the case? the prosecutor, Bill Gibbons, lies under oath. He said, okay, do you know why he slowed down? That would be speculation. Some say because he saw the crash, decided to keep going, but I'm not saying that. Oh, I don't know. Whether he's simply negligent, that's not seeing the crash, I don't know. But either way, Mr. Parks, I think it's a basis for termination. Either way, administrative ruling, conclusion, law 3. So he says that he's trying to be a little bit nicer, trying to be a little bit reasonable, because he knows they're being wicked as hell, getting rid of the leading trooper in the state for drunk driving. So he says that he don't know if I saw the wreck. Some people say that. So he's throwing that out there. And I didn't see the car's wreck. Or that I was negligent. Now, negligence, he's accused me of negligence. Negligence is falling below the standard of a reasonable, prudent person under the circumstances. Mr. Bill Goober, I got a law degree too. I passed the bar just like you. I can't be a lawyer because of crooks in power, because you don't want the truth to get out about your dirty lies. Now, Bill Goober raised your affordability level. That's what people are worried about today, affordability. Bill Goober, at the time he was lying on me, was getting a free taxi ride from close to Shelby County to Nashville on your tax dollar, living high on the hog. Well, that's what they use, your tax money. They don't care about affordability. They don't have to use gas money. They don't have to buy gas. They use your tax money to drive around in state patrol cars. That's what Bill Goober was doing. So while he's using your tax money where he don't have to pay anything, where he can live free off you, he's living free off you and lying on somebody that's providing for public safety for you. That's a prosecutor. That's what they do. Dirty Tennessee prosecutors, what we're talking about. And I'm laying out the evidence, how they lie. So he says I was negligent. Negligence that I seen, he throws that out there. I seen a car, but I didn't see it as a wrecked car. I seen the tail end of it, didn't look wrecked. That's not negligence. Negligence is legally, Mr. Bill Goober, you crook, you thief, you ought to write out your warrant, turn yourself into the jail. A prosecutor and a liar. A perjurer, too. He committed perjury. I'm just telling you this, in this case, just against me, the perjury that they committed, that's obvious as the day is long. It's so bright. And they lied under oath. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. So they're pinned down. Now we're under the legal realm of perjury. You lie and you should be prosecuted. They lie, and it's like the judge says, writes the same lie and says, I can write that lie, putting the weight of law on it, and I have complete absolute immunity to commit a crime. So I'll put the stamp of law on Bill Gibbons' lie. So the prosecutor, the administrative law judge, wrote the same exact verbiage that Bill Gibbons said. So the prosecutor and the judge, they work hand in hand, don't they? They just do the same thing. So if the prosecutor says, this is how we want you to word this, Your Honor, and the defense said he didn't do it, they say, you shut up. You're a criminal defendant. You're a criminal defense attorney. Or even you, if you represent, you shut up. What'd you say, Mr. Prosecutor? I'm writing that in my finding of fact. It's a lie, I know. It's perjury, I don't care. It keeps them in power, keeps you lifted up, keeps you looking good, keeps you getting a free ride off tax money. That's what they do. That's prosecutors. They're a weapon to be used not to protect crime. They commit crimes to destroy you and make it more dangerous for you, make the affordability higher for you. That's prosecutors in the state of Tennessee. Till you look at it rationally, really, and start voting these people out, you're always going to have an affordability problem. They're always going to live off you. They're always going to laugh off you. They're always going to prosecute you and get a feather in their cap for it. They like that. That floats their boat. That turns them on, gets them excited to get an innocent person. They love that. That makes their day. They're excited about that. Doesn't seem pretty, does it? That's the damn truth. I'm showing you. Right here, black and white. Not innuendo, not rumor, not hearsay, not an audible court statement offered by that other than the declarant at the present trial or hearing offered into evidence as proof of the matter asserted. I'm telling you, and I know this is not a court, this is my court, this is our court. We're having the real court, the public court. This is in our court statement offered by the declarant, it's me, in the present trial. We're having a little trial on the stage, on the road, offered into evidence as proof of the matter asserted. I'm not repeating what somebody else said. I'm repeating what he said under oath. An exception to the hearsay, even in a courtroom, is what somebody swore to under oath, even at a different trial if they're not available. And I'd ask Mr. Gibbons, come on down here, let's stand on the side of the bridge, and you can testify, did you say that or not? But he won't come down here. He's living in his rich house, feeding his rich family, being rich, causing you harm, living off your tax dollars. Because he was, when he was in state government, he was taking a taxi, using your money to go to work. Do you use tax money to go to work? Hell no. That's what they do. He's a prosecutor and a liar and a thug and a thief and a creep and a criminal. I said it. Sue me for defamation. We'll go to court and I'll argue and present my case that you're a creep, a liar, a thug, and a criminal all day long, Mr. Gibbons. You want to do that? I challenge you to do that. I'd love to talk to a jury about what a thug you are. I'm talking to the jury right now. So he said that I was negligent. Negligence means that I fell below the standard of a reasonable, prudent person under the circumstances. So we're talking about a reasonable, prudent police officer under the circumstances. He says I was negligent. I fell below that standard. I already said I didn't see it. I seen the tail end of it, and I didn't see it as a wreck. So he says, well, you should have seen it. Saw or should have saw. If I didn't see it, I was negligent. So he's saying that I should have been responsible for how somebody else wrecked their car. If they wrecked in a more visible manner, I was lucky and wasn't negligent. Because they wrecked out of my sight in the dark, then I'm not lucky and I'm negligent because I'm not lucky. And negligence doesn't have anything to do with luck. Negligence is you falling below the standard of a reasonably prudent person under the circumstances. His own expert, works for Tennessee Highway Patrol, says that Trooper Morgan did nothing wrong. His actions were reasonable. Nothing unreasonable about what he did. That's what his expert said. So he hired another expert from your tax money. They got plenty of it. That's what a lieutenant told me. They ain't worried about it. It ain't their money. They hire an expert, the government officials. These prosecutors hire an expert with your money to prove stuff against you. That's what they do. That's what they did. I wasn't negligent. Even other police officers have said, I've passed up wrecks before. That happens. One police officer told me there was a wreck on Chapman Highway where a car slammed into a telephone pole, knocked the telephone pole over. Power lines on the road, and the fire department and him and a lot of police drove past the wreck, even with a power pole down, didn't see it, and weren't even in pursuit. That's not a hard concept to figure out. So they hire your expert, affordability. Why are you paying so much taxes? They have to spend a lot of money to hire experts to prove a lie against you. Do you get that concept? The prosecutors, dirty prosecutors, hire experts with your money to prove stuff that's false to put you in jail against you. That's what they do all the time. And when they do it, it gets them excited. They love it. They convict an innocent person. But they have podcasts where they say they help elderly, they help victims of violent crime. But they don't answer the question, why'd you lie under oath? Why'd you commit a crime? Why'd you use state tax money to drive from Shelby County to Nashville when other people got to pay for their trip to work? Why are you ripping off the public? Why are you making an affordability crisis? Your affordability crisis is due to prosecutors that aren't worried about your affordability. They want to stay in power to keep your money. That's what they do. So, he lied under oath. And the judge wrote the same lie that he said, so stamps away the law. I wasn't negligent. I did not see it as a wreck. I can tell you that right now. Their expert said that. And the reason I slowed down is because the road forked. So they use evidence, and they don't tell you what the evidence really means. The evidence that I slowed down wasn't evidence that I seen the wreck and chose to ignore it. The evidence that I slowed down meant, just like I said, testified under oath. Truthfully, they testify under oath and lie. That I slowed down because I lost sight of the car, and even the camera lost sight of the car, so that's true. And because the road forked and I couldn't see it on the road where I was looking. That's true, backed up by evidence. They say they take that same evidence that proves what I'm saying. I slowed down because the road forks and I'm trying to see which way he went because I couldn't see him, trying to decide which way to go. They say that I slowed down because I saw the wreck and chose north. So they take the evidence that's truthful and means this, and they say, no, that evidence means this. That makes no sense. They're liars. And then they use your money to prove that. And then the judges, their dirty judges, say exactly what they tell them to say. So let's look at, and that's not the only lie. That's not the only lie Bill Goober said. Bill Goober, I'm talking about lying under oath, lying about stuff. Prosecutors presenting a case, giving false evidence to get you convicted of criminal or civil crimes. They do it all the time, every day, all day long. They listen in on your attorney-client privilege. They just break every law known to man. And they never do a time. They never do a day in jail. And they get better jobs as a result of it because the people in these better jobs, the sheriff knows, hey, he lied while he's in the prosecutor's office for the people in power, for the prosecutor's office. So if I hire him in my sheriff's department, he'll lie for me to keep me in power, to keep the Republican Party in power. And I'm not against Republicans. I'm against liars. So they get promoted because they sanction and promote lies that help the powerful stay in power, and you pay for it. That's your affordability problem. You pay for it. And the other lie he told, I'm talking about Bill Gibbons, I'm talking about dirty Tennessee prosecutors. Not hearsay, seen it with my own eyes. Another lie Bill Gibbons told. So yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. Another lie Bill Gibbons told. Bill Gibbons said that we don't know whether or not the video camera, the video of Charles Van Morgan's pursuit was released without authorization. That's what Bill Gibbons said. We don't know whether or not the video camera was released without authorization. That's what Bill Gibbons said. So the Department of Safety did an investigation, and the investigation had a OPR number, and the OPR number was an investigation into the fact of who released the video without authorization. They were trying to find out who gave the video of my pursuit to the news media. And Bill Gibbons, this is a lie, I'm talking about perjury by a prosecutor that put a lot of people in jail in Shelby County. That's kind of important. Did he lie? I know he lied. I'm showing you a lie, factually. So he said that we don't know that the video was released without authorization. That's what he testified to. So he's saying under oath, we don't know whether the video was released without authorization. Okay, that's a lie, under oath, because the Department of Safety did an investigation of who released the video because they were trying to find out without authorization. So somebody took the video off the server, which was probably Stacey Heatherly, ran their covert criminal operation using their tax money. They let her use their tax money to commit a lie because there's a proclamation that she is able to commit any crime she wants to because her father served in the military. So that proclamation says don't prosecute her family. Although a lot of people served in the military, that there's no proclamation because you can prosecute their family, but she's untouchable because of the proclamation. She's in the government, serves the government, worships the government. So Bill Gibbons testified under oath, but that's a lie because there's a internal affairs number an investigation into who released the video. They don't even know who released it without authorization. So not only do they know for a fact that it was released without authorization, they actually did a complete investigation. Can you unhear that bell? No, that's what Randy Nichols tried to do. So there was actually a internal affairs investigation as to who released the video without authorization, and they couldn't find out even who released it without authorization. So he lied under oath about trying to act like his department didn't do wrong by releasing the video without authorization. The reason why he's trying to act like they released it with authorization is because he's wanting to act like his department didn't do anything wrong. But they did. They literally had an internal affairs investigation trying to find out who released it. And he lied, saying that they could have released it with authorization. If they did, why couldn't they find out even who released it? And there was no authorization. If there was authorization, why'd they have to do an investigation? It's kind of hard to figure out how to rig that lie, isn't it, Mr. Bill Gibbons? So he lied under oath. And the reason why they released, I don't know who released it, I think it was Stacey Heatherly. The reason why they released a video that he's trying to say without authorization, that he's trying to say was authorized, or they don't know if it's authorized, he's lying under oath, is because Stacey Heatherly released it, I believe, because she wanted to infuriate the public. Because it's a death incident, so they're wanting to put a hit out on me. She's wanting to put a hit on me. Stacey Heatherly wants me dead. A major with Highway Patrol would like to see me dead. And so she put a hit out on me. She released the video to the news media, to her friends in the news media, I believe, and she was hoping, because it involved a death, people will be mad at that trooper because he's involved in a pursuit. Somebody died. People say, yeah, he's a terrible person. Somebody tried to kill him. And people have tried to assault me because of what Stacey Heatherly has done. They have. Now, I'm big enough to take care of myself, but she's tried to have me killed. She's a dirty piece of trash, a drunken sot. That's not defamation. She's had problems with drunkenness on the job, with calling a trooper while using the state radio while drunk, being in the car. So she released the video hoping that people would be mad and try to kill me, and it would cost me my job. Without authorization, took it off the server. Now, originally when it was released to the news media, they say, oh, that video's telling. No, that video's not telling. People said, well, he drove past the wreck because he didn't see it. And the guy was hidden. He should have wrecked better than that if he wanted to be found. It's not my responsibility. I had no control of that car. And people didn't get mad about that because nobody was hanging me out. They just released the video and they said, people figured that out. See, she's an idiot too. So she released it without authorization. The news media just showed the video, and it was a criminal investigation. She committed a criminal act by releasing it because it was a criminal investigation involving a death, and it should have been released, and she did it. And the commissioner of the Department of Safety lied about it. He said that we released it. We don't know if we released it without, and they did know they released it without authorization, and they probably know who released it. He's a liar, a prosecutor and a liar. Now, when the public didn't get outraged, then this is what they do. They put a narrative with it. They say, wait a minute, you don't understand. They say, there's their lie. Here, they tell you how to think, and they get you infuriated, have you go on emotion instead of facts. I was out low in the infuriated. I was out at that time, a newspaper article where I made it more affordable to you arresting somebody that's committing a financial crime against you. What was she doing? She was trying to get somebody off the road that was good for you. She gave the news media narrative saying, oh, wait a minute, you don't understand. The public's not outraged. He saw that wreck and knew somebody was needing help and drove past attention to that false, lying narrative. They get these people mad. He did what? Oh, we're mad as hell. Put a hit on. It's putting a hit on me. She put a hit on me. Guess what? Miss Major Heather, I don't give a damn who you are. Nobody's hurting me. I'm well prepared to take care of myself. You're so drunk and sod all the time, you probably fall over and shoot your stupid, sorry self. And even if I shot myself, I'd survive. You're so drunk and smoke cigarettes, you couldn't survive anything. So she put a hit out on me. It's putting a hit on me, saying something, getting people emotionally, and put my picture in the paper, trying to get people to kill me. Came to my house. But you can't prosecute her. She's untouchable. And the sheriff, the prosecutor, lied about that. So that's Bill Gibbons. Lied several times under oath. They got a proclamation out. Why don't they get a proclamation about this man here? About Larry Russell, my friend, who was hurt in the military. Why is there a proclamation about her daddy? Her daddy that's dead. The proclamation, they don't give proclamations about everybody. They haven't given him his. Larry Bledsoe still doesn't have his awards from serving in Vietnam, from getting injured. He's still got a scar on his side. They say he's got no proof. He's got a scar where he had stitches, where he bled. Served the military. There's no proclamation about him because he's not important. He's not a government agent that they want to leave alone. You won't find no proclamation. They made a proclamation about her daddy because it's not about her daddy. Thank you for her service. It's about her. Leave her alone. It's her daddy. She's protected. Don't prosecute her. She can do whatever the hell she wants to do. Troopers, remember that. Remember that. That's your boss. That's your liar. She won't get prosecuted for anything. She could literally bust you in the head as a trooper. She thought about that with me a couple times, but thought, hey, he's a pretty big guy. He might defend himself. Let me promise you, let me assure you of something. It'd have been a bad day, Miss Heatherly. I was raised with 4 girls. If I didn't defend myself, I wouldn't still be here. They'd have beat the hell out of me. It don't bother me a bit to defend myself against a woman. If a woman tries to hit me, I'll block the punch. I won't stand there and take it. You put yourself in the shoes of a man and be violent, I'll defend myself. And any man would. And she's got a history of violence. She's got a complaint on her record. I did a records check. I'm on this. We're not going away. We're on this. That somebody funded it where we got her records. They haven't even answered the complaint about her, where she was accused of being violent with somebody. Now they've dismissed the complaint. There's a proclamation. You can't prosecute her. Hello, you can't prosecute her. She's untouchable. Some of these people in government power, they won't prosecute them. The prosecutor's office is a weapon to prosecute you. If somebody in power commits crime, that weapon's not aimed at them. That don't matter about the crime. They're part of the elite that shoots at you, that tries to prosecute you. So yeah, and they said, they inflamed people. They said that I drove past him, ultimately caught on fire without knowing whether he's dead or alive, leaving the victim in the car that was smoking, ultimately caught on fire without knowing if he's dead or alive. So they tried to inflame people. They put a hit out on me. John Pettigo, that was one person that killed herself in a drunk driving wreck, that I wasn't negligent, didn't do anything wrong according to their own experts, according to science. Judges wrote down what Bill Gibbons said. John Pettigo was in pursuit of a car, didn't follow the law, killed an innocent person. An innocent person was killed because of his negligence. And they didn't put his picture in the paper. They put a hit on him. They put a hit on him. They wanted him to be dead. That's how serious this is. You go against these people for the public, they want you dead. They don't just want you shut up. They want you dead. That's why something happens to me, don't worry about some thug. Sharma Tissue Allen, Major, THP, Stacy, lying, stealing, valor, drunken sod. Heatherly, was I clear enough? It's not defamation. If she wants to sue me, I think I can prove my case. It's called the truth. She says that I saw a wreck and intentionally drove by and let somebody burn to death. No, I didn't. That was a hit on me. I'm saying that she's a danger to society, a lying thug that is above prosecution because of state proclamations. She didn't serve a day in the military. So that is Bill Gibbons, the liar that he is. Now let's talk about Cody Womp. Boy, she's a whomper. Tells a whomper. The prosecutor in Chattanooga. Now, I was down there in public, where I'm allowed to be, running for public office, saying, vote for me. I will provide public safety, and I will have a special prosecutor's office to investigate the investigators to investigate the prosecutor's office to make sure that they're doing right. Now, if they're not doing right, if they're doing right, why they're worried about a special prosecutor's office? They'd say, hey, we're doing everything legitimate. We're not putting people in jail. Here's the paperwork. You can look at all this. We're not listening to breaking attorney-client privilege. We're not lying under oath. Hey, we're open. We got a podcast. We say we're open. Why are they worried about it? Maybe because they're dirty as hell. Maybe because they're dangerous to you, to your affordability. So I was down there saying a special prosecutor's office, running for public office, saying I'm not for those people in power that are using a weapon to attack you. I've lived a while. I know what's going on. They're dangerous as hell. And it's going to get worse unless we clean this mess up, unless we lock these people up, make them pay for what they're doing. I'm not saying go shoot them, go murder them. Don't put a hit out on them. Prosecute them. Perfectly sane, reasonable Christian. They say we're Christian, then put a hit out on them, try to kill you. You know, dirty deeds done dirt cheap. They don't even do it themselves. They have other people to do their dirty for you. They don't want to be associated with. They can't stand the blood and gore that they did by sending somebody else after you. Ever heard the song "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap"? It's a song by AC/DC. It says it's talking about an intimate relationship. If you got a lady and you want her gone, but you ain't got the guts, then call me anytime. I'll be your backdoor man. He talks about ways of killing somebody, and I'm not saying do this. I'm just saying this is what they do. They put a hit out on you. They don't do it themselves. Bill Lee didn't do it himself. He put a hit out on me. She put a hit out on me. Put my picture in. You got a trooper and you want him gone, but you ain't got the guts. I'll be your backdoor man. Call me anytime. You know, put his name out. Use the news media. Cyanide, TNT, concrete shoes. Yeah. Call me anytime. Yeah, that's what they do. They put a hit out on you. That's what these prosecutors do. That's what Stacey Heatherly do. That's what she is, a hit woman for the honest people. So we'll talk about Cody Want. Like, share, comment, and help us get this message out to protect the public, to protect you, and subscribe and call your friends and neighbors. Call Major Stacey Heatherly. She's already all over my page, I know. How you doing, Major Heatherly? How about that valor? How about that valor? How about that drunkenness? How about that wrinkled, crooked uniform? How about I'm afraid? Woo, I'm afraid you might hurt me. Oh, I better run. I'm running from you. You're almighty powerful. You know, the truth has weight and value, ma'am. And it's going to get you. And I'm going to try to put it out to 1.3 million people now. Come on now. We're making a huge difference. Probably coming up on 1.4 million maybe today. Like, share, comment, get some viewers. We'll put this out to 1.4 million people. You don't hear this anywhere else. Why? Because people are afraid to. And may God protect me and help me, I pray. In the Lord Jesus Christ's name, I'm putting out the truth. Now, they say they're Christian. Yeah, boy, I believe every bit of that. I don't care what you say. It's what do you do? What did I do? Look at my screenshot. I protected you against financial crimes. I protected you from getting killed on the roads. What did they do? They used your money to lie on me and get rid of me and tried to get me killed, tried to get me dead. Let a trooper not act appropriately, break state law, didn't put his picture out, put mine out. So, talk about Cody Want. And I was out saying this stuff. Let's investigate the investigators. Special investigation away from politics, running for public office. And I may run again, I don't know. What do y'all think? I didn't get much votes because people in power with money have a strong interest in keeping my voice down, in saying he's a dirty criminal, don't vote for him. There's criminals, convicted criminals. I've never been convicted of any crime. Convicted criminals, they get more votes than me. How does that happen? Because the people in power aren't worried about them. When they get in office, they'll be one of them. They ain't worried about these other people. They don't keep down their votes. They get a lot of votes because the government, people in government power, aren't attacking them. They aren't sending hitmen after them. They're sending hitmen after them because I'm dangerous to the people in government power. I'm dangerous to the prosecutors. The prosecutors are dangerous to you, and I'm standing up against them. They don't want people to call them out for the liars, thugs, criminals, criminaloids that they are. They want somebody that'll go along with the program. You can get as many votes as you want to. Just keep us in power, help us out, and we're fine. Shit all over the public, excuse my language or don't excuse it, you'll be just fine. You stand up against us, want a special prosecutor to get rid of us. You're tired of us living off the public and using their money to dismantle and destroy and create a hell of an environment that's destructive to humanity, and they will use their money and resources to make sure you don't hardly get any damn votes. So the fact that I'm not getting many votes ought to tell you, maybe I'm good for you. They're in power now. They got a lot of votes. Are they working for you? How's your groceries? Your groceries are high because people in government power are sucking all your money to make things harder on you to keep themselves in power. That's the truth. So Cody Wamp put me in jail. Chattanooga police arrested me, lied on me, charged me with felonies. Talking about dirty prosecutors, dirty Wamp, total Wamper. So I go down there to court, put me in the hospital, beat me up. I got a right to say this stuff. If they think I'm wrong, then go get a warrant, and a legal, legitimate warrant, and we'll go to court and arrest me. I'll go. I'm not going to fight a legal, legitimate arrest. I'm not violent or dangerous. They literally threw me on the ground and beat me up, put me in the hospital, hurt me. Police did that to me. A political candidate, speaking against Governor Bill Lee, speaking against the then Governor Bill Lee, all these people that are felons, that get more votes than me because the government ain't after them. The government's after people that speak against people in power. I'm the enemy because I'm for the people. Literally put me in jail, beat me up, lied on me. I went down to Chattanooga to court, and I was thinking that the police are going to admit they made a mistake and dismiss the charges immediately. I went to court and they were telling me to hire an attorney and all this stuff. And I was determined. I had one court date and I was thinking, if they don't dismiss these frivolous charges today, when I come home, I'm going to fill out paperwork and I'm going to walk down here to the federal courthouse and I'm going to file a federal lawsuit against them for false arrest, false imprisonment. And I sued Cody Wamp in federal court. And you can't sue a prosecutor. They're immune unless they're acting outside the scope of their duties. She was acting outside the scope of her duties. A Republican accusing an independent candidate of a crime, not having anything to do with the crime. So when they didn't dismiss the charges, I sued them in federal court. As soon as I sued them in federal court, guess what? Charges got dropped. Because they knew I wasn't going to let them talk me into any kind of a bargain or agreement that I was going to a jury trial. And they knew if I went to a jury trial, the videotape would be released. She hasn't even released the videotape. They said I resisted arrest. They said that I told voters that they couldn't vote. They said I committed crimes and interfered with the voting process. I was trying to interfere with the voting process in a legitimate way with my right, saying I'm on the ballot, vote for me. I wasn't past the 20-foot barrier. When they arrested me falsely, they said I resisted arrest. They grabbed me, picked me up, and threw me over the 20-foot barrier, threw me on the ground, kneed me in the back several times, and hurt me. So they said, yeah, you're over the 20-foot barrier. That's like a state trooper pushing you down the road at a high rate of speed by the back, running in the back of your car, pushing down the road, saying you're going over the speed limit when he pushes you over the speed limit. That's what they literally did. That's all on video. A video that mysteriously disappears. The prosecutor doesn't ever release it. They will never release that because they said I resisted arrest. I didn't resist arrest. They violently attacked me because I'm fighting for you. That's what they do. That's Cody Wamper. That's what I call her, Wamper. A dirty prosecutor in Chattanooga. I won't go back to Chattanooga because I'm not going to Chattanooga and risk getting beat up. I can't run for office in Chattanooga. So if I do run for office, I'm not coming back to Chattanooga. I'm not going to get beat up for saying vote for me. Bill Lee can go down there. Marsha Blackburn can go to Chattanooga. But I can't go to Chattanooga and ask for people to vote for me. And that's a fair political playing field. a political candidate that's not a millionaire can't go peacefully. I was peacefully. They said that I said stuff I never said. They said I resisted arrest. Where's the video? They got a body camera on. I was filming them. They busted my camera. Cody Wamper, she knows all that. Wouldn't dismiss the charges until I filed a federal lawsuit. Said, okay, it's on. I fight back. I fight back, lady. Or she's not a lady, she's a liar. I fight back. 1.3 million people, false arrest. Release the video, Cody. If you ain't got nothing to hide, release the video where I resisted arrest. That's what your lying police said, that I resisted arrest. Remember that? Where's the video at? Oh, you like to hold it on my head, he resisted arrest. No, I didn't. They lied. They broke the law. The police broke the law, and the prosecutor protected the police. That's what they do. They protect the police from their crimes against you. They beat up a political candidate. Wow, in America, we have free and fair elections, don't we? No, we don't. We got prosecutors that prosecute political candidates for running against them. Now, if I run that the government's great, prosecutors are fair, they don't lie on their oath, and I lie for them, tell you, it's a beautiful world. We have freedom and safety in a constitutional government. Prosecutors are great. Vote for me, please. They'll leave me alone. But if I say they're dirty and present evidence of the facts, depositions, court documents, present my case to the public, they'll throw you down on the ground, beat you up, throw you over the line, lie on you, send you to the hospital, and hurt you pretty bad. I hurt for days for what they did to me. That's Cody Wamper, prosecutor in Chattanooga. That's what she did. Covered up evidence. She won't release the video. They said I told people they couldn't vote. I never said that. Where's a video of me saying that? They lied under oath saying that I told people that they could not vote. I never said that. That is a lie. They lied. They said that I resisted arrest. Where's the video that shows me? They got body cameras on that shows me resisting arrest. I never resisted arrest. Not one time did I ever or would I ever resist arrest. I've arrested people. I know the program. I'd have went in court and fought it just like I did. Prosecutors lie. They lie on you. They lie on political candidates that aren't backing up the establishment. You want the establishment to continue the way it's going, keep voting the way you're going. Marsha Blackburn's on the ballot. I bet she's probably endorsed by Cody Wamper. She'll not only let her campaign in Chattanooga, she'll probably walk beside her, campaign with her, so they can get elected, help each other out to prosecute you, persecute you, and get your money to help Marsha Blackburn get richer. Rich get richer and the poor get prison. That's a fact. So Cody Wamper. So I've talked to you about Randy Nichols. He's a sheriff's deputy now, so he can lie for you. Sharma Tissue Allen in her podcast that doesn't talk about real crimes, talks about the great stuff they do, but says they answer questions, but answers the questions that they ask themselves. Let me have 5 minutes with her. I got a couple of questions for her. Why is she a dirtbag criminal? And why does she listen to attorney-client privilege and break the law herself? Why did she tell me when I was trying to prosecute somebody dangerous that was in her upper entourage that she'd tear me a new asshole? Why does she talk like that? Why is she disgusting? Does she use language like that in her podcast, putting out their propaganda? Here's my propaganda. The difference between my propaganda and their propaganda is state media sanctioned lies. My propaganda is YouTube, myself, 1.3 million, 1.4 million people, and something that they will never have, I don't believe, maybe there's hope for them, if they write out their own warrant, turn themselves into jail, is truth. The truth. It has weight and value. I believe it. I have hope. I believe it'll win the day. What do you all think? I might run for public office. What do you all think? If you got information, and I didn't even cover Jared Effler, we might cover him another day. If you have information about some of these rogue prosecutors, then let me know. Fill out my survey. It's on the bottom. You can do it anonymously and give me information. I've been getting some good information. Thank y'all so much. The public helps. Y'all know, people ain't deceived. Y'all very smart. I'm just presenting my case to the jury, hoping that this channel will continue to take off, and they're prosecuting me because I'm a real Christian. I am a Christian. So my phone's about to die. So we're going to get the heck off here. And we'll talk more about Jared Effler in a later broadcast. They prosecuted me because I'm a Christian. There's my picture, my Bible in my pocket. So thank y'all for joining me. God loves you, and I do too. Until next time, may God bless you, I pray. And we'll close out the show joining. God loves you, and I do too. Thank you for joining me.